Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Get us out of here.
Dang, Gabe. Dang. Dag, yo.
Oh, there's a mini Triceratops in the new Dinosaur Wars movie.
Dinosaur World? Is that
Dinosaur
what you said?
Wars.
Jurassic World.
Dinosaur Wars.
I almost wonder if they've put anyone in, like, let's say in the tourist area of Jurassic World, like the tourist center or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They've got people walking around in those T-Rex outfits that are always at the conventions.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be actually alright. Kind of funny. Hello, Alinka. Hello, Paladin. Ebony, DJ. Welcome, y'all. How's the music and the vocals? Can you hear both okay? Sound off. Paladin, good. It is going good. It is a Thursday. It's good. It's not bad. I want to do your animation for your dragon on stream, but preferably beginning of July. Is that okay? Because the JourneyJune stuff's got me all, If we can do that, that'd be awesome. I would love it. Oh, thank you. I usually reserve my other flower crowns for different outfits, so I'm a little nutty like that. Artemis, hello! Oh yeah, feel free to lurk. Lurkers welcome.
Lurk.
Aw, you guys are sweet. I have like 3 flower crowns. One's really big though, and I actually want to sell it because it's gorgeous, but my head's really small and the flowers are really big.
I feel like it works really well for just going out around in a...
that one?
Yeah, like that one would be cute for somebody to wear at like a festival.
Okay, yeah, festival, yeah. But
Like
like
if-
on my stream, it's like I bend over and it's like flowers. it's way too much. So if anyone's interested in that one looks like this. We'll have Gabe model it because it's big.
And I've got a big head, so if it looks big on me,
Yeah.
then you know
Gabe's
it's
head is
giant.
24 inches. We measured it
Now
yesterday.
I crown thee Julius Caesar the Gobbo.
See, it's well made, and I had a lot of fun making it, but it's huge.
Very nice.
It's really big. So
Very nice.
these flowers are actually like the size of my thumb, sort of. These ones are like the size of my palm. Let's see, like it's big. It's big. So, just saying. Ah, Linka, you too sweet, girl. Shit.
I just came to the realization that Linka is also freelance, so she can literally join us all the time. If she
Basically,
chooses.
yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
Art of Travis Arts.
Hey, Travis.
Travis Arts?
Travis
Wait,
Earls.
Travis Earls.
Travis Earls.
I'm not wearing my glasses and I didn't put in my contacts, so forgive me.
Travis is a long time buddy.
Oh, cool. Welcome, Travis. That's the cutest Gabe's ever been. Flower crown Gabe.
I once spent a night or a weekend in his house, and we
Cool.
made a giant thing of spaghetti.
Oh, I thought you were going to say sweet, sweet love.
Sweet spaghetti love, yeah, but
Commissions. So speaking of that, if anybody knows Jonas from Von House, when we lived with Jonas, oh, actually, no. I shouldn't show that. Never mind, nothing happened. I have to wait. Give me a week or two. I don't know who's watching the stream, so I don't want to spoil nothing. I almost did. It would have been bad. People would have been mad at me. Dang it. I almost got tripped up. Okay. JourneyJuners. Sound off. Who's doing JourneyJune with us today? Let us know. Also, if anyone's drawing, let us know if you're drawing. Also, Paladin, a vocal congrats on your affiliate status. Good work.
yeah,
Proud of
dang.
you. That was really quick. See, I told you it'd be easy to get that one. It's just partner. No, they make you do like a year grind, like more than a year. It's probably gonna be 3 years for us,
Yeah,
something like that.
You gotta have at least 75 viewers at a time.
Yeah.
I will probably never hit it
Spongy.
unless I
You-
start like showing some
Some
of these,
teeth.
some of this. But Yeah, otherwise, it's a tough thing to get, man.
It is. It's
So-
super tough.
So for anybody who has hopes and aspirations of getting a partnership,
Yes, DJ, JourneyJune. There is no Journey Through June hashtag. The accounts have to be under Journey Through June, just because I couldn't get JourneyJune. But all the hashtags are JourneyJune. And then next year, we're probably going to have to put the date after it, because we've already gotten close to like 2,000 posts for this. So if we're going to keep offering like stuff in the future for finishing it, we're going to need some way to organize it. So yeah, it's really important. Yeah. Paladin also, shoot. Oh, what was I just going to tell you? Give me a minute. I'll remember. I think it had to do with partner affiliate. Oh shoot, I'm gonna forget. I don't know. I'm gonna need a minute to think about it. Cloverkin. Hello, Sniggle. Welcome. It's been a dual stream all month, actually. If you're on my channel or Gabe's channel, with the omission of yesterday, every stream has been a dual stream because we're working on JourneyJune stuff. See, that's the thing, Paladin. There really isn't. They used to have more, but right now it's just like you get higher up in the viewer thing. Like if you go to a channel. Oh, I remembered what I was gonna tell you. Remind me to tell them about the TV. TV. Just remind me TV. So with partner status, you get, I think, a higher percentage of payout for like bits and stuff. They don't take as much of a cut, and you get higher up in the viewer thing. Like when it's like, oh, channels that are live now. It's not totally just based on viewership. It's also based on if you're partner or not. And I think they put you higher because of that. So it's not really too much. So they changed a lot in the past year. Okay, so Paladin, the TV thing. Instagram just added IGTV today, which don't feel like you did this for nothing, but it's basically what we were talking about that Insta stories weren't, or Instagram Live wasn't doing. It wasn't giving you exposure to new people. Now you can actually search for channels. So if you wanted to, you could actually be simultaneously Twitch streaming and Instagram TV streaming. So everything we said before made sense for them. Now they've made it so it's similar to Twitch. The only difference is, and the reason I still wouldn't sink too much time into this, is because in IGTV, as of right now, has no way to monetize, which Twitch does. They've got the donations, the bits, all that junk, subs. So don't go crazy and switch to IGTV yet, but it does exist now, so if whatever reason you end up doing Instagram Live, now people have a way to find you, which before they didn't, and it was just to your followers. Now they have a way to find you. So I just want to get that out there so everybody knows. Gabe still doesn't have it on his phone, but I have it on my phone. So that means that it's out there. I'll show you real quick what it looks like so you know. But yeah, it really still won't get you as much. So, oh, that's sweet. Okay, so if you look up here in the upper right, there's a little TV. Right? And I'm thinking at some point with all their UI and stuff, they're going to have to separate this, but you click it, and now you can actually, oh, Frenchies. Oh. So you can search. So, yeah, because I'm going to look at Kim Kardashian. If you search miniatures, it'll come up with channels that are doing miniatures, and it'll show their past broadcasts and stuff, apparently. So, I don't know. That's a way to do it. And it'll show you your favorite channels if they've uploaded anything recently, but now they make it so you can search. So, there's that now. I got so distracted by the Frenchies. Sorry. I used to have a bulldog. And when Gabe and I move into a place that gets dogs or has dogs, we're going to get a bully again because I love bullies. Okay, so today I actually caught up and then went over a little bit last night. So I was 2 days behind yesterday, and now I'm a day ahead, I think. Or I'm at least on to tomorrow. So I went from, what was this? This one was Distracted and Delayed, I think. is before Weak and Wounded. Oh, it was Horrendous Horror, wasn't it? Wait a minute. Oh, Gaining New Ground. Oh, no. Gaining New Ground, then Distract and Delayed. That was the waterfall. Hideous Horror. I always say horrendous. I don't know why. Hideous Horror was the milfoil. Weak and Wounded, and then Rare Item. The rare item actually is a carrot. So it can be whatever you want it to be. Rare is kind of subjective. She may have never seen one before. Who knows? A carrot could be rare depending on who you talk to. So today, I might be working on merchant stock, or at least starting to think of it. I have to do one more panel for rare item. What about you, Gabe?
I am on today's. Oh, there it is. I got it now.
Oh, Spongy, do it! Why not? Free table, be able to vend at a small con? Sure.
Yeah.
Hello, Goss. D-pad, hi! I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in the back. Yeah! Sing some gorillas. Do it. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, as long as your sickness won't get in the way, or if you can like bring someone with you, maybe that could help.
Yeah, bring your bow.
Yeah, Bowbeard, bring him. Because otherwise, I mean, why not? As long as nothing else is kind of pulling you out of it, go for it.
Maybe he can help me.
It is good just to have someone to help at a con if possible, especially if you're not used to it. Gabe and I are usually okay on our own now, but it took me a while to feel pretty safe with it and whatever. And I mean, we were usually around other people that we knew when I started, but now we're not near each other or anything like that. You have to end up a lot of the time making friends with the people around you at conventions. So I did that right away. Like when you get there, if they're there, introduce yourself, be like, hey, I'm Ashley Cloverkin, good to meet you. We're going to be next to each other. Hopefully it doesn't start off on the wrong foot. Sometimes some people get really territorial and really specific about how they want their table set up and stuff. Don't be that guy. Just know that every con you go to is going to be different, and you're going to have to treat it differently. You kind of have to be open to making changes to your usual setup. Some people are a little more particular about that, and they can be a little nasty at times. So you have to go in there kind of, open-minded, but also just assuming things are going to have to change. Because 6-foot tables versus 8-foot tables, huge difference. It's good to have a configuration for both. So like my vinyl banners, they fit fully on an 8-foot table with my self cut out in the middle. But when I'm at a 6-foot table, I made slits that are in the actual banner so I can fold them back so that they can still fit in a 6-foot too. So stuff like that. You gotta make a couple, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not sacrifices, but changes, I guess.
It's almost like configurations.
So, Ebony, to come up with your own hashtag for your story. So, I'm not sure how familiar you are with hashtags, but usually hashtags are used as a way to categorize posts, right? So when you use JourneyJune, you're going to be putting your post within a whole bunch of other posts of JourneyJune, other people participating in that. So everybody's is under the same thing. However, you also want to make a tag for your specific story. So if you ever want to just share that story in bulk to someone, you can give them your own personal tag. Now the trick with this is to make sure it's not already used. So we've been saying put JJ in the front of it, because usually a lot of tags don't do that, and then pick a name for your story. So mine is JJ Hazel. Okay? No one else has that. If you go to that, it's just my story. So I'm also putting this, so I'm at least part of the movement. Other people doing JourneyJune can look at mine, all that sort of stuff. And then once they've looked at mine and they find one of my posts, if they want to just look at the rest of my story, all they got to do is click this one. So this one is, let's say, the global, right? And this one is the personal. So it's good to do this on Instagram or anywhere else if you're ever doing some sort of series or, whether it's a story or just a series of illustrations, anything like that. So you yourself can just hand it to someone or at, a con verbally say, go under this hashtag and you'll find all the things I've done for this, right? So, like I said, you can do this basically for anything you've ever made, right? That's part of a bigger collection, But let me know if that makes sense, Ebony. Hopefully that makes sense. Geek Girl Con in October in Seattle. No. No. The only con we go to in Seattle is Emerald. We will be at SuperCon in July, Gen Con in August, Dragon Con in August, and New York Comic Con in October. Those are our next 4. 1, 2, 4. Back to Murderburg. Kill the nasties. Murderburg. That's not far off from what it was. I'm in the car with D-pad. Let him know twitching and driving is bad. D-pad! You know better than to do that. Oh my god, Nauticus. Tell him to pull over. You take the wheel. That's bad. I hate being in a car where a driver is texting too. That is the scariest thing in the world. Awesome, Glitterholic. Glad to have you. Yeah, half hour. Lurk all you want. Leave it on all day. Whatever. Yeah, hashtags are like a necessary evil. They're good and bad. They've got their reason for being what they are. And I hated it when I worked at the company I used to. One of the guys that friended me on Facebook came up to me one day and he's like, you use too many hashtags. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, why do you use all the hashtags you do? And I was like, I'm an artist. That's the only way to get my art out, really. And he was like, oh, okay. Because if you're just doing personal stuff, yeah, oof, if you're using 20 hashtags, that looks a little weird. But if it's business oriented, then yeah, no apologies, sorry. If you don't like it, unfriend me, I don't care. It's usually one of those things. So, to catch you up real quick on what's going down in Hazel's world. She got caught in some milfoil, and the bee set her free, and she's like, oh my god, she's holding on to a cattail, and then she gets launched across the forest, and the bee's like, oh, damn. And then here she's coming into the forest, from out of the forest. That's going to be a shot where she impacts, and I'll just copy everything here into that one. And then she's all banged up, bruised, she's got leaves all over her, part of her outfit's ripped, has holes in it. So that's for weak and wounded. And then she looks behind her because in the background here there's a shadow, and it's just a bee, and he brought her hat because he's a cutie. So she puts on her hat, she's all mangled and stuff. And then she sees something on the ground, and then she picks up a carrot, and that's her rare item. And then she's going to look, this one's going to be her looking over a field of a bunch of carrots, which is supposed to be indicative that she's reached the bunny village, right? Which, if you've been keeping up with my story, she just figured out that the bunnies might be the culprits for stealing her elixir. Like I said, if you want to catch up to the story, it's JJ Hazel on Instagram. The more hashtags, the better. Up until a certain point, Instagram has a hashtag cap that I really wish they would put as like a thing at the bottom when it goes red, you've exceeded it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you use too many hashtags on Instagram, it'll delete your entire description. So you have to be, this is another reason I copy and paste all my hashtags depending on what I'm doing. If it's a painting, I use different hashtags than say for JourneyJune here. But it's to make sure every time you're not exceeding, the character count for the hashtags. Because it will just delete your entire description and post it. And if you're not paying attention, you have no hashtags. So it can suck. You have to pay attention to it.
So what I ended up doing is I actually went out. If you're on your computer and you go to Instagram.com and you sign in on your account, you can actually type in a hashtag. You know, you do pound and then whatever, sponges rule, and it'll tell you how many people have used that hashtag or how many times it's been used.
Well, you can do that on your phone too.
No, but this way it's easier. Like, so what I'm trying to say is
research.
I did that, and I researched a bunch of different hashtags that are very popular, that are in the either tens of thousands, hundreds, or
but make
millions.
sure they're relevant.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
like
don't
art.
put like
Don't put beach body. And
Yeah.
then, don't do that stuff.
Then you're gonna get the wrong people.
Yeah.
I did that, and I collected like 30 of them, and then I emailed myself that block of hashtags.
Is the cap 30?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so now, whenever I'm posting something, I'll on Android you can have
You have a clipboard.
there's a clipboard.
I'll show you.
I'm sure on Apple phones like now they've got that somehow. Or you when I used to have an iPhone, I used to do I put it in a note in the notepad or whatever the hell it's called, the notes app, whatever.
So here's our clipboard here. This came with our keyboards that we went and got, because Android you can put on whatever clipboard you want. So I've got all these pinned things here, and then all you do is just click it and it's already populated. Super nice.
So if like it's 30 hashtag, and that's a lot of hashtags, and sometimes some of those hashtags don't really apply. Like if I did an ink piece and watercolor is in there, I remove that, just so that I'm being courteous and not muddying up the watercolor thing without whatever. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't do it, but also there's like rumors that if you keep using the same hashtags for months on end,
you get blacklisted or shadow banned.
Shadow ban. Shadow ban means that like your account gets flagged and you're no longer visible to the public. Like whenever you post, none of your hashtags work, and you are throttled really hard on how many people actually look at your stuff. So if you think that you are somebody who is shadow banned, I would recommend having like a friend or something. Like unfollow you, and then you post something, and with a special hashtag, and then have them search for that hashtag. If it comes up, if that picture comes up, then okay, then you're not shadow banned. Otherwise, then if it doesn't come up, then you might have a problem.
Yeah.
But that again, these are just rumors. I don't know how those things work. So.
Yeah, we're not sure if anything's actually been confirmed in that area about the shadow banning. Like, some people have found it to be true, some others not so much, but just do it for your own sake, It's important. Is there something blowing behind me?
Glowing?
Blowing.
No, I mean the curtain, I guess.
So how's JourneyJune going for everybody? Because you've got 9 days left in June. What I'm gonna do when we get closer to having the class is I'll probably do a couple posts on the Instagram account, and then do a story every day, and we're gonna have links to a thing where you can sign up for the class, so we know how many are in each slot. We'll probably have 2 slots. We'll do the class twice, split everybody up so at least there's maybe one on the weekday, one on the weekend, so you can kind of get in there. But that's how I'm thinking we'll handle it. Otherwise, yeah. Yeah, you should be good, Paladin. The problem with the shadow banning thing is that they're afraid you're a bot, and bots are very copy-paste with all their stuff. So that's the only reason that gets kind of shady. So, I mean, maybe once in a while just add a different one in, take one out, that sort of thing. But there's also something to do with interaction, too. Like liking and commenting on things people have said. So if you usually reply to people or like their comments, that's a better sign and a thing to do than not to do that, apparently. So,
Or like mass unfollowing or mass following of people.
Yeah.
Like if you just go through your list and you're just like unfollow, or follow, then they might flag you as a bot. Because
yeah.
that's what bots do, you know?
Yeah. Hi, Ushi.
Hey, Ushi.
Yeah, our weather here is pretty nice. It's not exactly sunny, but it's not fully cloudy either. But it's windy. It's very windy. So I'm wondering, what do you got down there? You got storms? I wonder if we'll get your storms. I wouldn't mind that.
I've actually been noticing a lot of accounts that will follow me, like artist accounts that they'll follow me, and then I'll for whatever reason I'll see them like my page, and I'm like I'll click on their account to see who they are, and they're no longer following me, and I'm like, I totally remember you following me.
No, there's a whole thing too with I've noticed too with the browser. The browser's more accurate with who's following you and who's not. The app has problems updating, so even if you follow somebody and they follow you or something, it won't always update.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I've you know, I try, like, you know, I refresh it and all that. So
Gabe's background is actually, his back is the same color as mine. The difference is that I've got different lighting on my side of the room, because I'm actually right next to the window, hence this backlighting on my face, this room light. Gabe's over further away from the window, and he's got different lighting on him. So it's actually, all his lights are yellow lights. So that's giving his backdrop more of a yellow tint, where mine is more of a blue. But they are actually the same color, and they're closer to this than his. But yeah, let me actually see. I can try to make his more accurate. Most of the time I don't care, because I mean, whatever, but I mean, his saturation's already pretty low, so. Gabe, do you need to see where you are? Ugh, humidity. Oh, why is this different than on his stream? Because mine's not sci-fi. He's got a mech pug that is actually behind this sheet. That is his banner. So, little sneak peek into this. So to match his stream, he's got his banner. To match my stream, we just put some sheets on it. So it helps. If any of you want to eventually stream, it's actually smart to put this sort of thing behind you, because if you just show the room behind you, it's very distracting. It's very busy. A lot of the time people will be distracted by what's happening back there. If you got kids, animals, whatever, they're not exactly paying attention to you. You know, this is a lot more focused. And honestly, like I was saying, with the busyness thing, it's easier, you know, to digest. So
I think it's also like it just looks more professional if you have, you know, like just a backdrop.
Yeah,
you know?
it does. Yeah. It does. The production looks a little better, even if it is different colors. But yeah, I mean, Gabe's channel is Gabe's channel. That's his product. That's his, you know, his brand. So of course he wouldn't have brown. His colors are more teal, pink, white. A lot of that. Mine's green, brown. Sometimes I do like a pale yellow. But any thoughts on how to price something that's commissioned by a company who plans to use the image for apparels and stickers? That can get rough. It depends how big the company is. Like Nike versus like Joe Schmo down the street with one shop. You know, it's kind of whatever you feel comfortable with, and if you end up getting royalties or not from it, and how much you kind of expect them to make off it. So it gets a little dicey, but just remember, if it's a bigger company, they're used to paying out the butt, so you can, you know, ask for some more. Just make sure whatever you ask them for, you're comfortable with, and you know that it's fair.
I'd say definitely look at what they sell right now and how much everything is.
Oh, Paladin's right. It does help with the picture quality and sound because you are encased a bit, so there's no echo. Picture quality, your camera only has to focus on what's kind of within this 5-foot distance instead of also trying to take into account what's way, way, way in the back. So yeah, you're definitely right, Paladin. I forgot all about the technical aspect, but yeah, it totally helps with that. Especially that, like, depth of field sort of thing, because that can get busy and crazy. And Ushi, I hope we get part of your storm. I would love that. Yesterday it was kind of rainy, but not stormy. I think it was yesterday. Problem with freelance is days blend together. Luckily, our streams actually, I think, keep us more on the ball than we would be if we didn't stream. But, check their instant, they had about 20. That's pretty good. Yeah, I would go middle of the ground, if not higher, for that. Just make sure you're getting paid for your time you spent on it, your materials, at the start, and then figure out how much, you know, they might end up selling. Like, look at, if they have a store that says how many sales they've had. I know Etsy does that, but, I mean, if they're a legit company, I don't know, just see how popular they are. Maybe Google the name of the company and see how many places it comes up as.
Because also, like, you can buy follows. Like, you can... 250K is easily purchased.
So go on other platforms, like go to their Facebook page. That's a lot harder to fake. And see how many likes they have. And, you know, just do some research and then give them a price point. Be very confident with it, too. It's usually better to ask for more than less. But yeah. Oh, you can have it. Luckily, I didn't get soaked. Yeah, when you don't go outside for a job, it's kind of easy to enjoy a storm or two. Sorry you got soaked. Oh, you didn't get soaked. Oh, that's good though. That's why I used to really appreciate skyways in Minnesota. Not only for the blistery winters, but also just rain. It was usually good about that, and they were always air conditioned. Which I was surprised I never found more homeless people in there in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they...
probably don't want them in the buildings.
Yeah, they really don't. Because it was like a Macy's that was connected to a Target, that was connected to a food court. Like, yeah, skyways were, you know... Yeah, Sniggle, yours would be a little bit harder, I think, especially because you work nights. I can't imagine that. That's really tough. With Gabe and my sleep schedule, I mean, technically it's like we work nights a little bit, not too much, but
It's like second shift.
yeah, second shift. But it is really weird. It makes me feel lazier than I am because I'm getting up late, but then I realize I still got the same amount of sleep a normal person would. It's not like I'm sleeping in every day, you know. And I still get the amount of work done I need to, so... Hi, Nova!
Nova.
How's things going? We have had a bit of a drop-off for JourneyJune, but honestly, not as much as I thought we'd have. I've been, you know, keeping track of the numbers every day with how many posts are posted. Some people are still behind, but that's okay. Because like I said, if you're going for the class, you've still got till the end of the first week of July to finish and sign up. So, more info on that later. But, I think we're being generous at least with that. Because we understand, even we got behind for a little bit. I think everybody does, even if you plan ahead, which we did plan ahead. At one point I had a buffer of like 5 days, and because of the convention, they just all got burned out. Gabe, do you want to talk about where your story's at?
No.
Yeah, glitter. Oh, Gabe.
They just finished fighting the monster here. There's something wrong with this camera. Why is it up all the way up? That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that was from the last night.
Yeah, I can move it up.
No, it's fine. It's just like it was really high, and I kept having to draw really far away.
Oh, here, I can move it up.
No, it's fine. No, it's just my camera was. I had pulled it up last night
Oh.
to show the entirety of the piece I was working on, but
I'd focus it though.
Oh yeah. So they fought the monster, and now they're messed up. And the little shrug, he's like knocked out. So he picks him up. He's like, "It's okay, buddy. Let's go. Let's go get you some grape soda." And now they're walking. There's like a little like pathway, like the stairs. Stairs that go up to like the outside, I guess. And he steps on something and it like cracks. And then he looks down. He's like, "What's that?" And then he reaches down, and I had to sort of like add this extra panel in here. Now he's looking at it and he's like, "What the?" And then in this panel, it's a tighter shot so that the reader can see what it is. But it's like a control module for his ship, and it's like the thing that gives its AI. So
you are still working in the old story then, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So he's like, "Wait, what? This is like my ship's AI," because in order to get AI, like you have to build it yourself, you know?
In this world.
In this world, yeah. Like it's something that you have to work on yourself. It's almost like the Jedi sabers. Like you got to build your own Jedi sabers. Like in this world, like if you want your ship to have AI, you got to make it yourself. Which means that inherently everybody's AI is going to be differently because they built it themselves and they put in whatever they want.
So it's like raising a kid. Everyone's kid's going to be different.
Yeah. But initially, when I first drew the thumbnail here in brown, I had the monster sort of like come back to life for a bit, like one last breath, and he hacks up the little device. But then I didn't want people to question like, oh, did he get into a fight? Did he get swallowed up? Like did he die in here? Or like not he, but the ship, and maybe like the dude who stole it. Did they like fight him and stuff like that? So now it's just like maybe the dude came through here, and I don't know, did something in there. It's a lot less questions. I feel. I mean, it's probably just enough questions. It's the same amount of questions, but I didn't want people to think that they had fought the monster and gotten gobbled up. Because why else would the monster eat that thing? Just that little. It's tiny. It's like fits in the palm of his hand. Why would the monster eat that?
Yeah.
Seems silly.
Good D-pad. Don't drive into it.
Did you already read DJ's?
I am right now. Do you think it's a problem with copyright if a story you mention a character that you don't own? In an actual legal setting, you would have to pay for the rights to use the name.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Typically.
No.
Okay, we had to in games.
No, to say I hate Mickey Mouse, like you don't have to pay for that. That's just an opinion. If you're going to use Mickey Mouse's image,
but wouldn't that be degrading their image?
No, like you can't. They can't sue you for that. Like, because then otherwise people would get sued like left and right, like on a.
You do have to have the rights to say something in a movie.
No.
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely
like if it's a movie.
You show their logo, if you show anything that resembles that thing, that's fine.
I've heard otherwise.
No, you cannot like.
It's worth Googling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if we mention something in a video game, like a certain sports team or something, like we would have to get permission. Maybe you don't have to pay for it, but I'm pretty sure most of the time you need permission. But in your case, if you're doing it in your little story that you're going to self-publish, you should be fine. But I think normally on like a corporate field, like I'm thinking of all the things like Guardians of the Galaxy even talking about stuff. Like they need rights to use the music and talk about stuff.
To use music, yes. To use logos,
but
art.
To talk about them,
but to talk about, no. I mean, I could talk till I'm blue about Mickey Mouse in a movie, and like they can't do anything with it because that's my, that's me talking about it.
That's
you
the
know?
Characters like.
Yeah, it's just talk. Like you can't get in trouble for it. Maybe. I can even write about Mickey Mouse and not get sued. That's how those
editorials and articles.
Yeah,
and
editorials
stuff?
or
Okay.
Those unofficial guides, strategy guides, right? As long as there's no pictures in it, you're fine. That's why there were so many back in the 90s.
Hi, Hannah.
With like no photos in them.
I'm want today's prompt, but have no idea what to do with the special item. Okay, D-pad. This is good. I'm glad you brought up a problem with the, with what you're having. If anyone else is lost on their story or wants brainstorm help, anything like that on it, that's what these streams are for this month. Next month, we'll be back to doing our paintings, our normal drawings, all that stuff, our commissions. But this month, that's why every stream is a dual stream to help you guys out. So, D-pad, the rare item. Jaded Cicada, thank you for the follow. Jaded Cicada, I like that. Whereas Gabe says chichadas. But as far as the special item or the rare item, really it's that we wanted to implant something in the story that you can use that's either been prominent throughout the story or is an item that's been searched for or an item that could help them. This is the time to kind of bring it forward. So think about where they are in the story. Okay? Mine ended up being a, spur of the moment idea at the last second last night because she gets thrown by this cattail, right, into this new area. So that set me up for a good situation, right? I was able to actually use the fact that she traveled here. Because she traveled, I was like, well, we're getting close to the end. I could have her find an item that, signifies the end's coming. So for her rare item, it's a carrot. And rare can be subjective, depending on where they are. Maybe they've never seen a flower before. Maybe that's their rare item. The rare item is very specific and particular to your story. So, just think about where your guys are at right now. Is there anything they need? Is there anything you'd like to foreshadow? Using, getting something that, is a piece of something else, maybe a door to the boss's lair later, something like that. Now is the time to plant some evidence or some earlier stuff to pay off later, potentially. Mine is not so big of a deal. This is just, okay, this tells her she's in a carrot field and near the bunnies. And the bunnies are a story element. So telling her she's at the end of her journey. She's reached the bunny fields, right? So she's happy about that. It's like, oh, we've almost found them. So cool. For you, though, it might be something that's actually of great significance. It could be a big staple in the story. It depends on what you want to do with it. It's all up to you. It could be something small, it could be something big. It could be something small that has big significance, or vice versa. Totally up to you.
Thank you, Hannah.
Oh, it's a little bee. Hey, Jaded. It's a MacGuffin. Yeah, bees did my commission. For those of you guys who didn't see, I showed this on Tuesday's stream. God, it's already Thursday. This is me. And a jar of bees did it. For those of you who have been in my chat before, Bees has been in here a lot of times. He's a great guy, talented guy, skilled guy. I love him. He's great. He's one of our better online buddies, and we're happy to have him. So I wanted him to draw my character Cloverkin, which is weird because I'm Cloverkin, and the character itself was almost back-made. It was made backwards. So I started dressing like this for my brand, right? My art name. And I do this at conventions all the time, and now I'm trying to do it on Twitch too. So consistency, right? But at the same time, someone wanted to do fan art of me, and I was like, oh, that's fine. As long as you're not selling it, that's great. So they wanted a turnaround. So then I had to actually reverse engineer my character and actually draw me as Cloverkin for them, and it got really weird. I was like, I'm not cosplaying, but I am. It was really weird. Anyway, so now when I ask new friends and stuff to actually do a commission for me, usually it's of Cloverkin. So, and this is big. He did an awesome job, and I love his rounded corner thing. We do this with small pieces, but his is
I hadn't realized that he did that.
Yeah. So he had to have a corner rounder that I think was that big. But anyway, you guys, you should really go follow him. He's on Twitch too, under this name. Fantastic guy, super skilled. We love him. He's great. Yeah, I can't tell where my nose or my mouth is, but I don't even care. I love it so much. It's so him and his style that that's what I wanted. When you commission someone, you're doing it because you want their style, right? And give them free reign to do whatever they want, because that's ideally what you're paying them for. Yeah, and his watercolors are so consistent, and he's so good. So my character could say, I don't like Mickey Mouse's gloves, I could draw them. I think so. Yeah, I think you'd be fine.
As long as he doesn't look like Mickey Mouse.
I mean, this ends up getting like into a weird area. The only time it gets kind of dicey is if you end up selling the story to an agent or something. That's when it gets weird. But just self-publishing and doing things like independently, you should be fine. Don't worry about it. You should be good. Where did I come up with the idea of being an elf? Honestly, I don't know. I thought I actually had this. I should show the sketches. Remember when I was at New York Comic Con with you and Allie? And I was like, this is what I'm going to look like?
Oh, yeah.
So, well, how long ago was that? 4 years?
Yeah, no.
Well, we've
3.
almost been dating 3. It'll be 3
It was
in
like
November.
3 years.
3.5 years at
Yeah.
least. Years ago, when even before I started cons, because I only started cons 2 years ago, I was sitting...
2015.
Was it 2015?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2015, and it was October, I was with Gabe and someone else behind their booth. I was shadowing them. I was trying to learn what to expect at a convention, which is very smart. If you guys ever want to start doing cons, shadow people who do cons. Help them behind the booth so you know what to expect before you even do it. And I mean, do small cons, big cons, whatever with them if you can. So when I was back there, I was like, okay, I am going to do cons someday. And when I do, I would start doing sketches. I was like, I do fantasy art, right? And that's all I really ever want to do. So I'm going to make a persona around it. And I thought that'd be really fun. So I did draw Cloverkin up, technically before I was even Cloverkin, because I only rebranded last year, which that's weird. So I was actually this persona with a different name over a year ago, which was a terrible name. I highly suggest rebranding your art name if it sucks. Or if you're not proud of it, if it's got numbers in it, foreign words that no one knows how to spell or say. There's so many guidelines to this to make a solid name. But anyway, mine was awful. Way too long, way too confusing. It even was like confusing people as to what kind of art I did, which that's a big bad, right? So I had to rebrand. Everything was saying rebrand. And I actually rebranded on my birthday. I think it was my 31st birthday. Yeah, 31st birthday. And I rebranded to Cloverkin. And everything just fell into place then. All my branding, everything. It was like, okay, I'm an elf. My name's Cloverkin. I, go and I sell in trees. Like, I've got my whole setup at the booth is a tree. All of my art even fits inside my color palette, which I get a lot of compliments on that. And I honestly didn't even try to do that. It just worked out because I do everything on tinted paper, usually like this color. So it matches. Everything matches. It almost looks a bit anal if I planned it all, which I planned probably 90% of it, but it's really good to think through yourself and what you want to be. Yeah, he's making a zine right now too. I'm really excited about that. Oh, that's okay, Fair Seal. I mean, you're still fine. You're not behind. Bye, Glitter. What are clovers for? Yeah, so that's the other thing. I mean, the fact that the name came with the image, the logo, and then it's up to me to use that in my own way. Because there are tons. There was someone at another con called Cloverpuff. She was selling a lot of, like, cute anime plushies and things. Like, they were her designs, which was really cool. But I think that's what her main thing was. So there are other Clovers, but that's the whole thing where, nothing's original, but what you do claim, you have to make it your own. So that's been me trying to set myself apart. But I do have kind of a background with, marketing, branding, all that stuff, because I was at a game company and I know about those things, social media, blah, 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 blah. But I tried to incorporate that in what I knew, so it helps. Is Ebonita cat? Yeah, it is. Your name is bad, in my opinion. Just because I called you Ebonita when I first saw it, and it's Ebony Taco Cat, and Ebony is spelled wrong, and there's so many things. I don't know what kind of art you do. There are a lot of weird things there. It's really long.
Even if you could capitalize the T and the C in taco and cat,
it'd still be too long and too weird.
It would still be like, what is an ebony taco cat?
The thing is, you gotta kind of see it from an outside perspective, right? View it from someone just seeing it for the first time. Try to understand it the way they would, okay? And make sure it's clear as to what you're doing, what you're trying to do, who you are, that sort of thing, if that makes sense. I do have a branding workshop I provide. If you guys end up wanting it, let me know. Email me. I'll put my email down here.
I mean, imagine somebody who has the name like Crimson Pizza Cat, and it's like, what is
this?
What do you do, dude?
I mean, you could. No, I don't know. It just sounds too memey and too like.
It sounds like a gamer tag.
It's very memeish. Yeah, gamer tag.
Don't use
very
a gamer
much
tag.
Gamer tag.
Yeah.
Also, this is unknown usually too. Never use the signature you sign your checks with as your art signature. I know that sounds crazy, but Gabe actually broke me of this. They have to be different, okay? Because you have to be able to sign your art signature very quickly, okay, under like 10 seconds if possible. And also just have it not be your check signature for obvious reasons. I didn't even think about that at the time. But ADJ is not a good name. I don't think so. You've got numbers in there. I don't know if it's your initials. I see DJ, I think of disc jockey, I think of music. Oh, Paladin, thank you. This is cohesiveness, right? Cohesive, consistent. Hi, Shonda. Yeah, Alinka, you're in a weird situation because you're almost the opposite of what I have a problem with. So my name is Ashley Erickson. That is as basic, basically, as you get. Like, if you Google Ashley Erickson, you get millions of people. So that's why I had to make an art name. Some people are lucky enough to have, like, a short, cool name they can just use. And Alinka, your problem is that yours is too cool, right? Where people might not know if it's multiple L's, stuff like that. You could be like Ela Art if you wanted to be like ILLI Art, something like that. You'd have to look. The other problem is when you guys do decide to rebrand, make sure you're Googling everywhere first to make sure it's available. You don't want to get through 3 social medias and find out Tumblr is taken or something. So go through like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitch if you want to, and make sure they're all available, then nail them down. Okay? Cloverkin, I wasn't able to get on Twitter. I was able to talk the person on Tumblr that had it out of it. So I actually messaged them, hey, I'd like your username. I noticed you don't use it very often. Can I have it? And they were really nice and they gave it to me. So I got Cloverkin instead of using Cloverkin Art. However, for Gmail, I had to use Cloverkin Art. Oh well, that's okay. But for the most part, you want to be as consistently that name as much as possible. Crimson Bagel Sun. I love it. Ushi, isn't it cow? In Japanese, isn't that cow? Don't ask how I know that. Okay, I'll tell you. I had a boyfriend who had a general moo juice, we called him, and his name was Ushi and stuff. So
Mushi?
Ushi. Yeah.
Moo juice?
Yeah, moo juice, milk.
Oh.
Milk, moo juice.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I had made him an actual plushie of General Moo Juice. It was this big. It was the cutest cow I've ever made. Granted, I haven't made any other cows. Milk. Milk. It's true. Actually, I don't think they should be happy. Because, I mean, that they can be, but I think it's more of a, oh, like, hey, we found him. Put But I wonder if she should be holding up like, what? Look what we found. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Should this be a triumphant moment or not? That's tough. I don't know.
Why not?
Well, because they found the place that the elixir was probably brought to. Would they be happy about that or apprehensive of the upcoming confrontation?
Oh, yeah, I guess they would be sort of like,
Like, oh.
like, oh no.
Like, oh, we're here, right?
Who are we gonna have to mess with?
Yeah, we're gonna have to mess up some bunnies.
Oh, Ebony, yeah, I mean, do whatever you gotta do, man. Yeah, I mean, you don't gotta change your name to do it. We're just a recommendation, you know, like, try thinking of a different name for the future.
D-Pad, you have a copyright on yours? Yours sounds like it's a gaming, like, community. Like, for a bunch of classic gamers.
It sounds like a review site.
Yeah,
like
hey man, come to D-Pad Dungeon. We'll give you all the reviews and any of the behind-the-scenes facts that you need for your gaming life.
It sounds like for any all fantasy-based video games that are coming out.
Yeah, Ebonita. So Ebony, sorry, Ebony, not Ebonita. Damn you, Gabe. It's the Mexican in Gabe calling out the Itas. But there's tacos too. You should know it's taco.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's small-time stuff. So when you get into the sort of situation Gabe and I are in, where you've had like a bad name for maybe 10 years and you're starting to do professional stuff, like unfortunately Gabe can't change his. He should change his to Galvosaur.
Mm-hmm.
That would be way better. But for him to change it now, he's like way deep in professional. It's like, everywhere.
It's like in published books. If I were to change it now, then that might be...
I think you
I mean, I guess
should,
I could,
yeah.
But then I'd want to open up also Galvosaur, or I'd have to like...
You'd redirect.
Yeah.
So he has the problem when people meet him that they call him Galvo, where his art name is Gabo. He's in a really weird situation, because he's like 2 to 3 times removed from his art name, because he's got Gabo and Galvosaur, and he's Gabriel Bautista.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I kind of have the same thing, but nobody knows about the Ash E thing. That's just how I sign stuff. I don't sign stuff Cloverkin, though I suppose maybe I should. It just takes a long time to sign. But usually when I sign things, I sign them like this. Because I'm still my name, right? But I do put a clover next to it. So, it's tough. So only worry about it, I guess, once you start going like Mega Pro and you've got non-self-published works and they're actually published in things that you have no control over, mainly. Just the Kenji Fubushi, that was back. So that's another thing. So the people that sign their names with, you know, kanji and other languages, you can't Google that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what good is the signature unless you're big time? Like, if you're J. Scott Campbell or something and you can't read for whatever reason that's J. Scott Campbell, it doesn't matter. You're big enough that people know what your signature looks like. Mm-hmm. Okay? When you're small time, you're not at that point yet.
I mean, I guess if you read Japanese, but, you know, I mean, like, who reads Japanese that, you know, like... It's Japanese hard. People read Japanese, but, you know, what's the demographic there?
Oh, Fire Seal! You got it. You actually got it. That's funny. So yeah, when you probably put that together because I don't have a boss battle. My boss battle will be just the confrontation, which you guys can do that. The boss battle is a metaphor, if you want it to be. It can also just be a giant battle, whatever you want, right? But for some of us, what fits your story? As long as we can tell that's the climax of the story and that's kind of the part of it, or the, you know, why you're doing it, that's fine. That's more than fine. Yeah, Fire Seal, you got it. Sorry. It's a little, I guess, run-of-the-mill, but that's
Bye,
okay.
Paladin.
Bye, Paladin! Bed now. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow we won't be on... We'll be on Saturday on Gabe's stream. How much did that cost, D-pad? Because I was pretentious as hell. Yeah, usually the people that used a symbol, Prince, were pretentious as hell. But that's okay.
I mean, he earned it, though. I mean...
Yeah,
Guy's
he got
great.
big time.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Oh, Linka, do you stream on Fridays? Yo!
Cool.
Yeah, hopefully we can. Usually Fridays are day off, so that's the day we go and do really fun stuff.
Or stuff that we need to do.
Or stuff that we need to do, like doing errands, going to the bank. So fun! Stuff like that. But what time do you stream at? Hopefully we could make it. If it's later in the night, we can probably do it, but during the day, it's going to be a little tough.
She's in...
Laura! Hi, Laura!
Or, where, Linka, you're in South Carolina or North Carolina? Charlotte area? $50 for 5 years.
That's good, but then what if you find someone using it? Then you have to take, like, legal action, right? Like, oh.
I mean, I guess you could just easily just drop a cease and desist. And
I'm not even close to having, like, you know, a lawyer of any sort.
Well, you don't even need to do that, really. As long as you just find... You find the thing that... I'm sure you can go out and get a cease and desist letter and then just show it to them. And then like, oh, God, okay.
Yeah, Alenka, #1 rule of Twitch, get on a schedule.
Yeah.
#1. Honestly, that's the thing. Think about it like it's TV and people can plan their days around you and stuff. The ones that get hardcore and they like you and they don't want to miss you, they need to know when you're streaming. So start small though, like just 1 day a week, see how that feels. Some people don't like streaming very often. Like our friend Tim, who has like 100,000 followers on Instagram, he only streams once a week. I mean, it's enough for him. He doesn't like doing more than that, and that's how he works. So, I mean, depending on how you are and what, you know, you want to do, go for it. Also, may I suggest that since you do commissions, when you're at a con, if you get a commission, and ask them if they know what Twitch is, and if they say yes, say that if they want to watch you do the commission live, that's an option. Usually people are like, whoa, really? And sometimes if you haven't sold it yet, that's sometimes a selling point. And, you know, be like, well, if you can't make it, I'll still do it on Twitch, and then it'll be recorded, and I can give you... that. I think that's only if you're affiliate, though. It records your things. So if you're affiliate, which is easy to get to, for the most part, you can have past broadcasts and just send them that. But usually I find that's a kind of a unique selling point that people seem to really like. Oh, really? I could see you do it? It's pretty cool. I mean, you're doing it anyway, right? So why not? Yeah, that's exactly why we started this. The whole motivational talks, yelling at people, doing all this other stuff we've ended up doing, we didn't plan to do this.
It just happened.
Like, the fact that, I mean, I've got mentorships, I didn't expect that, you know? But, I mean, I didn't expect this. It just happened, right? Enough people were like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm even going to add the branding one here, and it's going to be cheaper because you get the branding one in all of these, but for the people that just want the branding one, I'll probably do it for like $20 or $30 in case anybody wants that. Because you might not necessarily be at any of these points yet, but you could still use it, you know? And we'll go through the workshop and all the worksheets and stuff like that. I would destroy them. Just kidding. Whoa! I mean, that happens. I get it. Okay, so rare item is basically done. This is exciting, you guys. We're getting to the end of the challenge. So that means all the shit's gonna hit the fan for the people that have got, like, you know, crazy stories and stuff. It's gonna get cool. This was the part I was really excited for when we started this, was the end. Now the problem's gonna be, like, avoiding spoilers for the ones I haven't gotten to read yet. So that'll be interesting. So that's the end of rare item. I've been doing a lot of like abbreviations for stuff and things like that when I've reached the end of something. I ended up just actually printing out these squares I got to the point where I was doing this a lot, to where you guys saw me. I was tracing post-it notes on screen, and I was like, you know what? I've just started using these so religiously now that I'm just getting into it. Oh, you too, Artemis. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Ushi, that's good. That's a good day. It's okay, Alenka. Keep going. You'll be alright. And remember, you don't have to do multiple panels or anything. If, like, rare item, you've just got them holding it, that's good. If it explains part of the story, you really don't need multiples. The only reason I'm doing multiples is because I have too much to say, and I can't shut up a lot of the time. So I like showing more of the journey if I can. Same with Gabe. He's a comic artist. He can't avoid it. But if you can just put it into one, go for that. You'll be fine. And remember, work small. Don't work big. Small. And I think you've been doing that too. I think you showed us. What is that sound? Is that this? Is that the creaking? That's creepy.
Maybe it's me though.
Ushi, you're gonna finish too, right? Yeah, you guys can do it. You still got over a week. Okay, it's even though there's 9 days left in June, you still have to the end of the first week of July. Okay? And during that first week of July, I'm gonna be sending out a bunch of stuff like go sign up here for the class and da 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 da. So we're gonna be doing that. I wonder though if the class should actually end up being at the end of July. Because the second week of July we're gonna be in Florida for SuperCon.
Oh, I think we should move it even further. Like, I mean, why not?
August?
Why not after August?
Are you serious?
Oh.
No, that's a terrible
Oh, yeah,
idea.
no, you're right. Yeah. Maybe, like, last week of July. Or third like, 23rd to 27th. 'Cause I feel like we're going to be doing, like,
I think the end of the third week. So, like, Thursday or Friday there.
what day?
20th.
Okay.
Something like that.
Alright.
Because, I mean, I don't want to do a disservice to anyone who got it done on time. I'm rewarding the people that got done around the time you're supposed to. DJ said, Gabe, when will you post your Copic marker piece from last stream?
I've been waiting for them to post it. I thought they said that they were going to post it.
Are you not allowed to post it before
I
they
think
do?
I can, but...
Screw it. I don't see why not.
No,
if they
I know.
didn't say you can't, then...
I might post it tomorrow.
Oh, Ushi, I'm sorry. Take it easy then.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... I'm going to actually ask her and see.
I mean, if you want to show it right now, too.
Yeah, I could,
Just in case. If anybody wasn't here for yesterday's stream on Gabe's channel, he was doing a Copic marker solo stream where he was doing a thing for Copic Colors of the Month, which you're only allowed to use 3, and he was the artist of the month, so they let him do it on a stream, so he was only allowed to use 3 colors for that.
There's I'm gonna pull up real quick here so y'all can see all of it. All of it. Yeah, that's the whole piece. It's about I mean that's my hand, so you can tell how big it is.
Right? Something like that. Oh god. Who else spits when they yawn?
It's called Gleek.
I know.
6x9, I think. Yeah. I think actually I'm gonna put this up on Etsy actually, probably tonight.
Oh yeah.
Because if they post it anytime soon.
When you do that, remind me so that I can put up my new book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I have like 5 left over or something like that from the convention. So if you guys want that new book that I was making on my Insta stories, where did I put that? I could show you. Just give me some stuff.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Maybe I'll present it on Saturday. Yeah, so if anybody wants to see how he did that, go to his channel and go to his last broadcast.
I might actually, in a bit, I'll shoot it over to, I'll upload it to YouTube. but I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
mute the hell out of it because of Magic Sword.
No, Magic Sword is a Twitch approved.
It's a Twitch approved. It's not a YouTube approved.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll probably end up making it just in YouTube they give you the option to like fast forward it to like double the speed. So I might do that just so it's a sort of a shorter video. Yeah, time lapse.
Really? Okay, cool.
Oh, Laura, are you really? I'm glad that you're working with us.
Oh yeah, I stole it. That's how.
You see it.
I forgot about that. Oh god.
Ashley's always taking towels from hotels.
It's an accident.
Mhm.
I use them to step on during the day when I can't bring my foam mat from home. Oh, I got up too fast. Okay. Here, hold on. Some of you guys might have seen my stories making this. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, shame on you, by the way. I was documenting right before we left for Heroes Con, me making this book, like completely, just to show you how easy it is to make a book, right? I'm telling you guys it's easy. I'm serious, it's easy. So I'm actually gonna make a listing for this while I'm talking to you, and then show you what it is. So if anybody actually wants it, you can do it, because I'm shipping stuff out tomorrow or Saturday? Saturday probably, actually. Saturday is going to be my ship day. So if anybody decides they want this, it's an option. Let me take a picture of it. Usually takes about 10 minutes to make an Etsy listing if you have everything you need already. But I hand bound all of these, so that actually is a fun thing. But save to drive, love again, upload. Okay. Now let's see. This book itself is it's called Symbols of Symbols for a reason. It's kind of got 3 different levels of symbolism within it, which I don't think anyone's gonna really guess it, which is good, because it's not so much embarrassing as it is just you don't need to know. You don't need to know. Personal. Yeah, it's kind of a personal thing, but then it ended up turning into not so much a personal thing. I don't consider this a kid's book, though. Would you consider that a kid's book?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because
It's got adult themes.
nobody knows.
I guess.
The hidden themes.
No, I mean, just like, it's sad. It's
Yeah.
not a happy story, but
There's a lot of sad kid stories.
I guess.
I just don't think it's really. I mean, it's not for kids.
Yeah.
I think kids can definitely read it, and it's not going to mess them up or anything.
That's true. They might just not understand it.
I mean, shit, like what's it called? The Secret of Nim is a lot darker than that.
Oh, yeah, whoa, you're right. But is that considered a kid's story? I don't think so.
No, but it's a cartoon though. It's a kid's cartoon. Like,
Oh.
it's not. It wasn't an adult cartoon.
Yeah, that's fair. Fantasy. Mice. Mouse. Medieval. Does anybody have any questions on Etsy or about Etsy while I'm doing this? I mean, why not? It's got love, but it also has I'll just say art. It is dark. Oh, it's got magic. Yeah. It's got magic. 15 bucks. Got probably 5 of them. Basic 5 days. Here 5 business days. Yeah. $4. Yo. $10. Else. Yeah.
Probably. You could probably find a what's it called? An appendix on there somewhere.
Oh, I don't have my... A love story turned self-love story. How about that? About 2 mice. I never thought I'd be one of those people to kind of do something in the self-love area, but I realized that's what this ended up being, which is funny. Sometimes the things you intend to do don't end up being that way, you know? Your intentions may be good, but sometimes it's like, I mean, it's crazy. Two mice, that's twice as nice. Hand-bound. Hand-bound. How big is this? I figure this is somewhat educational for you guys in case you're curious. I think it was 6 by 6, isn't it? It's around 6 by 6. Yeah. I love square things. Hand-bound 6 by 6 storybook.
There's really rad artists that I just found.
Yeah.
I'll put them in the chat. But poor bastard's name is Matt Smith.
See? That's what I'm talking about. Does he even, like, does he have a good art name at least?
Barbarian Lord? No, it's just Matt Smith. What sucks more is that he's like
going by Matt Smith.
Yeah, he's put he's put out a book through Image, and yeah, it's just Matt Smith. So that must be tough.
I mean, isn't he going up against that one doctor too?
Yeah. So I mean, but that just happened. Like, couldn't have been more than like 10 years.
That's
like,
not just happening.
No. I'm saying like it maybe 5 years ago, Matt Smith became the new doctor. I don't remember when.
Dude, it's longer than that. I don't know anything about Doctor Who, but I remember seeing that guy longer than that. Like, 'cause wasn't he
2010.
after? When was David Tennant?
Well, 2008 probably, but Matt Smith became the Doctor in 2010.
Okay.
So, yeah, that dude's been having to deal with that. I mean, who knows? Maybe he started drawing. I mean, it's been 8 years. I don't know when this guy started drawing, but that would suck.
So, for everybody that's picked this up, apparently their favorite aspect of it is the magic that I've gotten here. I'll give you a better run through of it in a minute, but I gotta grab a kind of shot of this. And usually you want to take more professional pictures than this, 120 million%, but sometimes it's better just to get it done and get it up there than it is to actually make it look pretty. Finished, not perfect, right? Yeah, my phone fell on the floor. Finished, not perfect, slam. At least the screen didn't have anything.
That's always like mega, like, I feel like an idiot when I drop my phone. It's like, really?
Yeah, I do too.
Like, you feel like a child?
I dropped my phone, oh no. Doctor Who? Doctor Why? What kind of art does he do?
Oh,
Laura, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm glad.
I was gonna say,
We're glad.
sort of fantasy based, but it's more like medieval. Like, he does a lot of medieval shit.
Would I like it?
Yeah. He's on his Etsy shop. He's got some really cute, like, this cute print of. I mean, it's obviously like the Smurfs, but he sort of put his own thing to it. He calls them Belgium Nomad Goes to War.
Ebony, you were definitely one of them. A couple of the people that bought it, that's what they bought it for, apparently. So thank you for letting me know, too. Let's see. It was one of the compliments I got on it, which was very nice because I am kind of a stickler for having fun magic. So, which gave me more confidence to do the caster series that I planned on doing, which I'm gonna have probably ready for Gen Con. Probably not for SuperCon. SuperCon's kind of a toss-up, honestly. But, here we go. Alright. So, it's been, what, about 10 minutes, something like that? So I made an Etsy listing, filled it out, took a couple pictures, already kind of edited them, and then just put it up on Etsy, and you're good to go. And at least then it's up there. Yeah, it's not in its final form or best pictures ever. We still need to get a photo box. Or make one. But, story.
Dr. Pepper. Alright, bye, DJ.
Bye, Deej. Dr. Pepper. Alright. Yes, 20 cents. Thank you. I know. Alright. For anybody that wants one, here you go. I'll do a quick walkthrough of it so you might know. I don't want to ruin it, but I guess it doesn't matter. Because if you want it, you want it because of the journey, right? So, symbols of symbols. So, basically I called it that because every symbol in here is symbolic almost of another symbol. So, I don't know. I guess I was being a little...
Pretentious? Yeah.
A little bit. Or facetious. One of the two. So, it's about this mage mouse who practices her magic and is super into her craft, but also enjoys cooking and mushroom, hunting. She works on her magic and herself. It's cute. I roughed up the edges on here so it looks a little bit more rustic. She's very much a loner, but she is very lonely, right? So here she's lighting this candle, and then this guy shows up. And he's got a clover. Symbolism up like crazy. Here they are together. And you'll notice things when you read through this that you might be missing right now, but they go do stuff, they go to cute little merchant things, stargazing, ooh, cute, cute, oh, don't want to show you that, and then she's pissed, she's so mad for some reason, and then this other thing shows up. What is it? I don't want to spoil that, actually, so I won't show you, but that's the last page. So, it's got a really cute little kind of, it's not leathery, but I specifically took this paper because it had a leather look to it, but it's obviously a lot more inexpensive than real leather, and it still gives the same effect, so hence why I bought that specifically. But then it's got this cute little twine tie on the side. Yeah. So I was proud of doing that basically in one day before we headed out to the con. So I've been wanting to make that book for a while, and it is really easy to make and bind your books. It's just knowing how, which is part of why we're doing the class for JourneyJune. But anyway, if anybody wants one, the link is there, and I'll be shipping them out Saturday. So let me know. Right, back to this. So after the rare item, which is the 21st, which is today, it's merchant stock. So this is going to be cool. I can actually combine this with doing the next day, so having just one long line of different panels where they're all in the same spot. Because if you want to, merchant stock and geared up, we meant for you to be able to use them back to back, so you can have one transition or segue into the next. So for poor Hazel here, this has been the moment I've been waiting for. Because if you guys remember, my initial drawing of her, she's souped up. And look at this. She's got like tassels on the bag. She's got this lining on her coat. It's all nice. And then she's got this bell on her hat and this kind of detail. And because I told you guys to do it simple in the beginning, this is why. So if you wanted to do a more detailed level up at the end or an enchanted outfit or something, this is the time to do it, because really they're only going to be having it for probably six panels after this. So it's better than drawing it for 30, right? 6. So if you do want them to get like a badass like costume outfit, amount of garb or armor, anything like that, around now is the time to do it, because now we're going to go into the final stages of the story, which means there's going to be the showdown, battle, all that stuff. So if there's any magical imbuements that's going to happen, this is where they power up. And like I said, this is why I've been waiting for, because now I can give her a new outfit. And what was nice was with Weak and Wounded, she got one of her sleeves torn off. Everything on her outfit is just mangled, right? She's got holes in it, her hat's all jacked, which sucks because the skunk helped her mend what was already screwed up. So I almost want to have like another confrontation where she meets the skunk again, and the skunk's like, "What's this? Where's the work I did?" You know? But oh well. So now they need a merchant. Now this could be fun. I need to think of a merchant. To have it not crop your image. So what I do to make sure it doesn't crop it, since these are squares, usually Instagram does do squares. So if your image is already not a square, you're going to have to make it a square by pulling out farther. So when I do take pictures for Instagram, I don't even take them using Instagram anymore. Do you?
Nope.
No, we both use the camera. So when I do that, I'll come out this far, okay? And like I said, this is a square, so this is already going to fit in Instagram. But if it was, let's say, both these squares tall, you have to pull out even farther, you know, so just so you can get it all in, let's say, right? And then when you take that picture and you put it on Instagram, you're going to have some, we'll say, letterboxing, right? If you're familiar with movies that are widescreen, they have letterboxing on the top and bottom. Standard def has it fill the screen, but you're missing some on the left and right, because usually movies are made widescreen. Same thing with this. To make it fit in a square, you're always going to have some sort of either cropping, or you're going to have it smaller, so it fits within the frame.
You know what really helps? I think most phones nowadays, if you do, I don't know if you can see the lines, but you can go into settings and it actually gives you lines, right? So you can actually, you know, sort of figure out like what's gonna be like a nice square area for the picture, you know. I like to use that a lot, especially if I want to make things like sort of align properly, like the paper, you know, so it's not like turned, you know, just so that it's you know, it's straight. Those little lines come in handy.
Hannah, who else is streaming? Is everybody? Is God, Bodhi hasn't streamed for a long time, has he?
I don't think he's set up properly yet. Connor's streaming. Steve sketches. No. Yan is drawing.
Oh, Yan. Yeah, I suppose.
Sam Peterson.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
Bodhi's moving. Yeah, I knew about that. I think he already moved. He just hasn't set up yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's been putting out some art, so I figured he's got time. I just don't think he's got a setup.
Oh, he's doing an art installation.
Yeah.
Can I have a piece of watercolor paper?
How big?
Just normal, just from the pad. Should be fine. I don't know. Oh, is it right there?
That is one. Oh.
Whenever I have a new character come into the story, I do like to do a little concept piece for them. So even though the merchant's in here for maybe 1 or 2 topics, I still want to give them the time of day. Because anything you do in preparation or production, concept, anything for your story, you can add as like a special thing in the end. Don't forget that, people like that stuff. They like to see, your concepts, where you went, how you got to where you are. Let's see, I'm gonna do 5 by 6, I think. Sorry, loud. Try do each panel as its own picture and just post them at once. So, Ebony, what you can do is it depends on the kind of final form you want your story to take. Honk, honk, honk. And with that in mind, so just to show you what I mean, my story started off like this, with just one panel. So this was our hero. It's supposed to show your hero, normal day, what do they do, what does their day look like, right? So this is Hazel at her honey hut. She's selling her special imbued honey that's got different properties. So I was planning to have every day of JourneyJune just be one and have it be a storybook. Somewhere along the line, and it looks like it's day 3 already, I had 2 images for that. So I was already starting to have trouble being succinct. But at the same time, that might be okay, because now I've decided I'm going to make it into a comic, a kid's comic. So there is a different style with kids' comics than normal comics. But regardless, if you end up doing that, and some of these ended up with 20 frames, okay? They're spaced out actually as part 1 and part 2 on my Instagram, because I'm nutty. But eventually I just went that route, so you can do whatever you want. What fits your story is more important than trying to fit your story within this certain template, So especially since this is the sort of thing where you can kind of explore and do what you want and then later on change it if need be. Remember, this is super lax, super just whatever you want to do. Just make sure you follow the prompts and you're not combining days into one image. That's our only problem, if you do that, really. Or use a pre-existing character. Bees! Mm-hmm. The sharpener set off the car alarm, right? We live in an apartment complex, so that's pretty normal. Which is fine. I actually used to live in a house. I owned my own house. It was a very nice big house, but it was also a foreclosure. And if anyone knows about foreclosures, they are a good amount of work. So that ended up being very not me. Amid other things that happened, that wasn't very Ashley, it wasn't very Cloverkin, so that life, we'll say, ended up ending. And I prefer an apartment anyway, and honestly, Gabe does too. The only thing that I miss is, say, a yard, and having a dog if I want a dog, which we'll eventually get to it, but...
With your help!
Not with your help. You guys can't really help with it. No, don't be sorry for the questions. Ebony, that's why we're here. That's why we've been doing a dual stream every day of the month. Usually, on my streams, it'd just be me. Below me would be my little, whatever you call it, feed of what's been happening. And then on the right is just usually my full camera. I'll show you what it usually looks like. Okay, this is my usual stream setup. It's just me. It's just whatever I'm doing. There's a lot more space here. But since Gabe and I are running the challenge together, it made more sense to us to dual stream on my channel and on his channel, the both of us, so that we could visibly be here, both be working on the same thing, and help people out. We're here to answer your questions, so do not be sorry for your questions. Ask more questions. More questions, the better. So if anything's confusing, and I know you're coming in late, so that's even more scary, anything we can help with, let us know.
Right, even if we're not doing this, like after June, you can still ask questions.
Yeah, it's just the setup's going to be different. You'll still have Gabe around. Sometimes Gabe's in the upper right corner if he feels like being in the stream, but yeah, Miniacs, it's not about how it looks. We're explaining why we're dual streaming so often. Usually we save this for a special occasion, Like, we'll do commission streams where you can buy really cheap commissions, and we'll do them immediately so you can see what they look like. We just do it off the cuff. It's like $20, super cheap. We usually do those, and that's what we use our dual stream for. But since June has been like, you know, our monthly challenge month, we've been wanting to both be here and be present in each one of our streams as to help you guys out. So come July, we're going to be going back to that solo stream thing. But for now, we're here, both of us. Just figured you were hitched and just did that? Hitched? Like, married? What do you mean hitched? I'm confused. I mean, we've always been, the whole time we've been streaming, we've been in the same room. Mm-hmm. Regardless if we dual stream or not. But yeah. Let's see, what kind of animal? I always like really fat merchants, and I don't know why. I don't know why I always do fat merchants, but I totally do. But what kind of animal haven't I done? Oh yeah, we've been a couple the whole time we've been streaming, but we're also separate brands, and we realize that. We cross-promote, but usually we're not infringing on each other's brand, similar to now. Like, we're splitting the limelight. But this makes sense because we're doing the monthly challenge together, so obviously, right? But, like I said, normally on my stream, you'll see me, and just me. Similar to, you know, this. And then sometimes, Gabe will be up in the corner. He's up in there like this. So that's usually how it is. If he decides to come in. It's up to him if he wants to be on that night or not. Just totally whatever. But either way, it's typically me and a lot of space on the side, because usually you do want that much space. But like I said, because it's a dual challenge, you know, we're together on it, so. I like gross rickety merchants, Snaggle said. What's your favorite kind of merchant? When you guys think of a merchant in your head, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna think of the what are you buying, what are you selling guy from Resident Evil, but if you're a merchant and not eating well, then there's a problem. Good point. Good point. Right? Fat merchants, I'm saying. Example, in my Symbols of Symbols book, real quick, there is a merchant, and it is a fat bunny. Look at how mad he is. He's like, quit playing with my stuff, you guys. What are you doing? He's got corn kernels he's juggling here. But yeah, big fat merchants. And then in the, in Hazel's story, there's a big fat bear that's in the background. He sells pumpkins. But yeah. Oh, Linka. It was at the con, homie. Let's see. Oh, for those of you who already bought it, thank you. I appreciate that. I might throw in a sketch or something. I always throw in a free print with every purchase, so you'll be getting that extra at least. That's okay. No, Linka, that's fine. That's a con. And that's the tough thing about a con. You just meet these new friends and stuff, and you barely have time to, like, do anything with them. Which sucks, because we had, like, 5 people ask, do you want to hang out tonight? And it's like, what do we do? You know? Like, how do we prioritize who to hang out with and who not to? So conventions can be kind of rough like that.
So we hang out with no one!
Depending. It depends on who's there.
Is that a zine? Is that a Zune?
Zune.
Oh. No.
Dude, I have a Zune still.
Oh.
I had a white one. It was cool.
No, I know they were.
I liked it. I was so anti-Apple at the time that I was like, ugh, iPod, I don't want that. And I got a Zune, and that was cool.
Yeah, I had a Zune for a bit, and then I don't know what happened to it.
What was he thinking of? Like, what did you show on screen?
This.
Ew. Oh, that's chunky. No, Zooms were good. I mean, you can't really screw up a media player. Granted, it was thick as hell. It was like an inch thick. It was super heavy.
Yeah.
I used to have the Zune charger in my car, like, hand thing. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabe found it. He's like, really? I was like, yeah.
You know what though? The
Mine was pretty too. It was white.
but like I felt like it was less fragile than the iPod, because the iPod was scary because you can murder someone with the iPod because it was metal. What?
I get to do it. I was waiting for when I'd get the chance. I think it's gonna be Beaver.
Oh.
I usually want to do like a porcupine. Oh man, no, the porcupine made he could have stuff on his back that's stuck to him that he just pulls it off his spine. He's
There
like,
you go.
try this. All right,
Try
never
this
mind.
on.
Is either a beaver or a porcupine because
I
those
like
are
the
like my two new favorite animals.
Porcupine is much better.
Yeah, porcupine. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I love porcos. You guys don't even know. I have a whole story about a porcupine too. Sorry, not sorry. Now, how to draw him. So, before I do the final one over here, I'm going to do a couple silhouettes. Just to get his shapes down. My favorite thing about porcupines is they're basically like a wedge shape. Like they're just a wedge. It is so adorable. I can't handle it. Also, if anyone else here is obsessed with porcupines as I am, if you don't know about stickers, you're missing out. I'm going to share some with you that you're going to freak out about.
That name just clicked.
Really?
Yeah.
It took this long?
Yeah.
Lord almighty. Now, I'm really sad because I was prepared to travel to Colorado to meet Stickers, but they moved him.
Like, we were totally gonna plan this because we had a show in Colorado, and
Yeah.
if he was still there, I think that would have been the only reason to go.
Yeah. So, we were going to go meet Stickers, and I was devastated to learn they had to transport him or transplant him somewhere else because he got too friendly. And he was basically, he lived at a resort with a bunch of like, skiers and stuff. It was in Colorado, right? Skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going around and actually like being kind of a panhandler and begging all of the people there for food and stuff. So a skier just comes down off the mountain or something, and here's this porcupine that's like, give me some food. And I lost
I
myself.
think he was being aggressive too.
I don't think he was being aggressive. He's overly friendly, they said.
Oh.
Like, he was too domesticated. So they had to bring him somewhere where he could be his wild porcupine self again. So anyway,
Oh shit.
I fell in love with him. And the cool thing about porcupines, too, that I've always drawn them as, don't steal this, is they've always worn aprons. Because it's the only thing that makes sense, because they can only wear it on the front. So that's how I figured it. But anyway.
Yeah, and raiding you.
Yeah, and thank you for the raid! Yeah, if you need something to perk up your day, go look at that video of Stickers. He is a beautiful puppy porcupine.
Is he the one that goes?
No, I don't
That's
think he's
another
the
one?
one that eats the banana. I think
Okay.
that's what you're thinking of.
There's another one that's like.
And he's eating a banana. I love them.
I think if you just if you look
Porcupine
on,
banana.
or just a porcupine Christmas gift.
Oh, that's corn. He had corn on the cob for that
Yeah,
one.
and he loses his
His
mind.
mind.
He's
Yeah,
like
it's
running
really cute.
around, and he doesn't even like. He jump spins, and he just keeps doing that. Popcorning.
Yeah, popcorning. Twitch overlay extensions have updated, so now you can have up to 3. Oh, good!
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Yan. Yeah, I think they capped it at 2 a while ago,
Okay.
right?
No, I think the screen extensions was just 1.
No, really?
Yeah, because I had to
Oh,
remove
yeah.
the
I was
bits
thinking the
one.
ones underneath the video.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, those you get 3, but
Oh, wow.
on-screen ones.
Well, you used to only get 2.
No, the on-screen ones was
no,
only
no, no,
1.
No, under.
Was 3. Oh no, you're right.
Two.
It was 2.
It's
yeah,
2.
Yeah,
Oh, Sniggle, good. Yeah, gaining new ground was supposed to be the vehicle one. If you wanted to add a vehicle, a mount. I tried to keep it fun. Honestly, a lot of it was inspired by things in Warcraft. Like, I was thinking about, well, whenever I would be journeying or something in a game, what were the exciting parts? And I remember I was grinding in Warcraft for a long time because I was a dark elf, and I wanted to be to have one of the ram mounts. So I had to get in good with the dwarves, you know, because they had the rams. So Gabe, you would be nuts for Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
It scares me thinking about what you like. But
Well, we started playing it. I was enjoying it.
oh, good. Yeah, and I'm glad you had a good stream, or at least I hope you do. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend, what have you. You've been doing awesome with JourneyJune, by the way. This was right up your alley.
Yeah, seriously.
Obviously. Daily challenge. Yen's gonna own it. But yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, he's gonna be such a fatty. Oh yeah, fatty boy.
Yeah, and thanks for stopping by in the raid.
Please try Strawberry Jam plus Sriracha together.
Ooh.
Stick it.
No.
That sounds great. I'll do it.
No.
Hell yeah.
No me gusta.
That's a great contribution. Noted. Thank you. Oh my god. I love porcupines so much. Also do it live. Yeah. If I do, I will. Hi, Lynx. Welcome. Yeah, I do like doing things on the stream live that are either spicy or gross. I think I've done 3 now. We had, if you guys have ever heard of Go Cubes, if Soggy was here, I know Soggy would link it right away, but we did Go Cubes live on the stream. He also sent us some really spicy ramen that we tried on the stream. It was good though.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
that was good. I would buy that. Like, what else? Usually we stream it, Andrew. Like, we'll stream us eating it, so you can clip it if you want to. So in my clips, it's there. You can find it. Snickle, you might like the Go Cubes. They were gross, though. They only really work if you like, what, black coffee?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. They're intense.
No.
Did he die?
Coco died.
Coco.
The gorilla.
Oh, Coco. She knew sign language. No. When did she die? Today?
Yes.
No way.
Dies at 46.
Poor gorilla. Yeah, and I will try to find you the clip. I forget where Soggy put it. Actually, if Sniggle, if you're feeling inclined, you could go look for it if you want.
Oh, Steam has a sale.
Coco was the first gorilla.
He was.
Fact. That was the one that Jane Goodall worked with, right?
Yep, I think so.
Poor Coco. Glitter's back. Hi, Glitter.
Glitter.
Welcome back. And love to tell jokes. She liked kittens too, if I remember right.
Cat loving.
Oh my god, I'm all about this now.
There's some other news that I really want to talk about, but it's political.
Is it good or bad?
It's just stuff.
Is it about Space Force?
No, it's about the whole immigration thing.
Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Thank you for refraining. Cloverkin's stream is about escapism. We don't like to deal with reality here.
We're here to draw, guys.
Space Force. Yeah, feel free to lurk.
But on pretty soon, I'm gonna be drawing this.
Space Mexican, Spaceball. Do it right now. Screw it.
Nah.
Take a break.
Maybe once I'm done with this.
Because I was talking to Gabe yesterday. I forget how we thought of Space Mexicans. But, because of the space wall. Like, if they're going to have a space wall. Either way, how would you fit a sombrero into, an astronaut suit? And I challenged Gabe to figure that out.
Like Mexican culture into a spacesuit. Like if you could take like a mariachi outfit and turn it into a.
Oh, that should be separate.
Yeah.
I
mean that's what I mean. Like it's a sombrero.
Oh, those sombrero guys? I was thinking the poncho sombrero, like super stereotyped.
Oh. Yeah.
That kind
So
of
really,
the
then it's a
stereotypes, Gabe.
Yeah, it's like a Mexican cowboy, space cowboy.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. So for the porcupine, he's gonna be the merchant. Oh my god, I'm so excited right now. Porcupines are probably actually my favorite animal now. A year ago it was different, but now times have changed. I've grown up. I think it's porcupines. Because somebody asked me once what kind of animal I think I am, and I said a porcupine. And I think that still works. I think I'm still a porcupine. I used to be an armadillo, but I think I'm a porcupine now. I've gotten a lot more aggressive as opposed to defensive. Go Cube's clip is deep. Yeah, it's something else. It's gross. Like my reaction to Sagi's spicy ramen, it was not as crazy as I thought it'd be, and somehow it went a little viral, like just a smidge, and I was sad about that because that was not one of my best reaction videos. I was like, dang it. It almost looks staged, and it's not, but... Okay, so he's gotta have a bottle here too. Maybe the bottles are on his tail. Yeah, it was from a while ago, Snug. I don't remember. It was when we lived at Von House, so it was last year, summer, fall. I think it was summer. Because when did we send Jamie and John the Go Cubes? That was fall, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think the Snug, you're probably looking at last summer. So that might be a while ago. People have stopped clipping as often. And I can't tell if that's just with my channel or all around.
I guess. It's Twitch is. It's really starting to like. It
feels like it's dying down, sort of.
Yeah, like it's a really weird. Like it's just it's changing somehow. Like we used to do.
Oh, I still have to try IRL.
What? Oh yeah.
I have to.
But I mean, like, if this is no like we're not trying to call you guys out, you know, like, or we're not fishing for anything. But it's like I think people just had more money. I don't know. No. We figured this out. All right. So during the winter, a lot more people are on Twitch because there's nothing to do.
When
it's cold out, when it's cold out, you don't want to be inside, especially if you have like no air conditioning.
Outside?
Yeah, you don't want to be inside.
Wait, are you talking about winter or summer? Because you said
okay,
winter.
so during the summer, we've realized that during the summer, like, not a lot of stuff going on Twitch, right? But in the winter, people are, like, happy, you know, and they're happy, and they're giving bits, and they're subscribing, and they're doing this random donations and stuff. And maybe it's also because it's, like, closer to the holidays. So people are just more, like, open to, like, hey, here you go.
See, I would see that as a reason they wouldn't give.
I would see a reason as they would because, you know, like, they're...
It's just weird. The whole thing is weird.
But
like, I almost feel like Twitch has died down just overall.
Yeah.
Like, not many people are on it, not many people are streaming, but maybe that's summer.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't remember it being this way last summer.
No, it wasn't. That's why I'm just
it?
remembering that there is a big lull in the summer because nobody's home. You know, they'd rather be out. They're not doing Twitch. At night, okay.
Yeah.
But I think during the day, I think that's why our midday streams have been suffering because and nighttime streams usually pretty lit.
Yeah, maybe we should have summer and winter hours.
That'd be good, actually.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe even next week we switch to. Well, see, then we lose some of our overseas people if we go too late.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a bummer. It is a summer solstice, that's true. But I wonder if we change one of our 4 p.m.s to 9 p.m. And then the other ones, maybe the weekend ones are 4 p.m. because it's a weekend. If people want to tune in all day, they could.
That's true.
Yeah, something like that. Oh my god, I love this porcupine. He reminds me of a hash brown. Like one of the McDonald's ones that are triangle shaped. Is it McDonald's that's triangle?
No.
We always fight about this. That's Arby's, right?
I don't know, but
you guys, who has the triangle hash browns? I thought that was McDonald's.
No, they have it's like a oval. It's like a elongated oval.
I thought that was Burger King.
No, Burger King has crowns.
I don't believe
They're little like round things.
Hey, Calvera.
Hey, Calvera.
We're having an issue right now. McDonald's hash brown. Oh, because Burger King has the crowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which are the equivalent to potato olays at Taco John's. They are the exact same thing.
Damn.
Okay, so McDonald's is the oval.
Yeah.
So what is Arby's? Because I think Arby's might be
Arby's
the
doesn't
triangle.
have breakfast food.
Arby's is the triangle.
Arby's has breakfast food?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Since when?
I love those things. Yeah, they're triangles, see? Yeah.
Look at that freaking sandwich, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is bacon, cheddar, potato cake melt.
Damn.
That is my life if I could eat that. We can make it ourselves.
It's true.
Screw it.
I can't do hash browns anymore, though. Those big ones, can't do them.
They're very greasy.
That's the problem.
Like, I remember when I used to party, which was very seldom. Very seldom.
Well,
Andrew, thank you for the follow.
When you say party, I just imagine you
No,
eating...
it was typical party girl.
No, but I when you said that, I imagined you just eating a bunch of crap. Like that.
When I used to party.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat a bunch of crap now.
Now I'm all about shakes and stuff.
But when I used to party in college, which was, when I say party for me is like once a month at most. Like, or a holiday, like Halloween, I remember going to a party, but, so I was hungover, because I was not used to partying, right? And we went to McDonald's, I got some of those hash brown things, and they destroyed me. It was awful. There was so much grease, I couldn't even, oh my god.
I can't do this.
Yeah, Arby's is the one with the triangle. Oh, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, Yen is great. We love Yen. Yen's on my auto host because she's amazing. Gabe actually met Yen and has known of Yen for a long time. They go way back.
Several years.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your history with Yen?
Started on a rainy day, and I think it was because of the little
The dailies?
the daily sketchbooks that she's been keeping up with. I don't know where she keeps finding them. She must be,
365.
yeah, she must be on like the black market getting those somewhere. These little guys, these little sketchbook things, right? So we, I found out about them through my buddy Kenneth Rockefeller.
Check out his work, by the way.
Yeah, if you can
Holy
look up
shit.
Kenneth like Rockefeller.
You gotta give them
Fort.
a link. No one's gonna do that.
Nope, no.
I wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, this was my little book. This is my last book because after this one they stopped making them, and so a lot of people, 2016 people, they stopped. Moleskine stopped making these, and the people that are still doing it, I think they're just using previous years that they can find, or they bought up a
I
bunch of
think she was,
2016s.
because I've noticed that Yen's been marking off days and naming them.
Yeah, she basically just bought a bunch, and I think her buddy Astral Gypsy, he runs an art shop, I think.
Oh, he's got a hookup.
Yeah, so I think he bought a bunch of them, or maybe together they just bought a bunch of them. But so yeah, she was doing that, and somehow a hashtag came up, and then she actually ended up making a website where she was. It was like it was a directory for everyone who's doing the daily drawings in those books specifically.
And Gabe and I got sucked into that for a while.
Yeah.
Like I was in that too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, Sniggle, I've got 3 of those books that nobody's really seen for years. So that was actually going to be volume 2 of Jupiter. But at this point, I might just end up doing. It'll be a collection of, because each one of those books isn't completely filled in. It's maybe like 3 or 4 months worth, and then I fell off because of busy convention schedule. Excuses. But so I've got a lot of pages that I can put into a book, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is collecting all of them and then putting out a book that's got a few stories sparsed here and there on ones that I really like. And then really it'll just be like a glorified sketchbook with a few stories in it. Maybe that will be something that I do later this year, maybe next year, I don't know.
Oh, for people just joining us now too, I just put up on Etsy. Ooh, Calavera, I'll tell you in a minute. I'm gonna put this in the chat again real quick because I had just put this up on Etsy. I made this book right before Heroes Con, so less than a week ago I put this together. I hand bound it, so it's bound by hand. Saying it 2 ways. And it's a storybook, love story / self-love story. Love story ends up not so happy, spoilers. But it is a storybook. It just doesn't have any words. Because I'm a big fan of not words. Body language, being able to appropriately stage something and, you know, get a mood and stuff across regardless. So if anyone's curious about that, there is a link there. Thank you, Andrew. And yeah, right now I'm working on JourneyJune with Gabe here. We co-host JourneyJune. So we've been working on that a lot on our streams. But Andrew, real quick, because you're new here, I'll show you. This is typically what I'm doing on my stream, is stuff like this. And this is actually the bear in my story, which is this girl. But she got dumbed down quite a bit for ease, you know. But this was her original concept art, we'll say. So like I said, if start of July, if you're on our streams, you'll see this is a lot more what I'll be doing. But right now I'm doing another character for the story who's a little merchant, so I'm gonna have him there. But yeah, so Calavera, what cameras do we use? I will even provide you a link. We're very fond of these cameras. They're cheap enough where, you know, we have like 4.
Actually, can you let me provide the link?
I already found it.
Because I've got the affiliate program for it, so.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, you'd have to go to Gabe's Twitch though.
Oh no, I'll post it real quick.
Okay.
On mine.
Well, either way, if you end up buying one, they're great. There's 2 main things you want with a camera. You can see here. I'm gonna be showing you my neck real quick. So if you look at this camera right up here, hi. So this has a button for autofocus, or sorry, manual focus, which you want to find a camera that's got manual focus. It's a problem with doing traditional work that when you're drawing, and I'll show you how this works too. See how the eraser is closer to the camera than the drawing is? Normal cameras with autofocus are gonna always try to focus on the closest thing, which gets super annoying. Okay, so you wouldn't even see what I'm doing right here because this would be focused on. So with manual focus, you know, you'd focus it on the thing you want, which is him, and then it won't ever change. He'll always be in focus, right? So make sure you find a camera regardless that's got manual focus, or at least autofocus you can turn off. The other thing is that this camera has, if you can see in Gabe's link there, it has 3, 1, 2, 3, technically 4 points of articulation. See my messy desk. So if you look here, it's got 1, 2, 3, and technically a swivel. Okay? No other cameras I've found are like this. Gabe actually has his suspended above him, which is super cool and super good for an art space because you're able to keep them out of your, you know, work area, which mine is very much not out of my work area. It's very much part of it. But they're called IPEVO Ziggy HDs, which is kind of a mouthful, but not really. Also, it's got exposure on it, which I can change at a whim. I don't have to go into any program or anything, which is really nice. But yeah. Just hate sleep. I require it, unfortunately. Oh, Sniggle, you're leaving? Did you write down all your ideas with your mind explosion? Make sure you do. Oh, thank you, Andrew. We are the mama and papa of JourneyJune. Though I am papa, Gabe is mama. He's Mama Gabo. Yeah, that's good, Mini-X. The problem is you don't want a manual focus most of the time that's got the actual dial, so that can just take way too long. That's why this is nice, because it's just a push of a button and it does it for me. it's actually a document camera that's meant for like classrooms and such. So they know that teachers have zero time to do stuff. So they don't have like the turn dial. So if yours has a turn dial, that's got to be kind of a pain, right? So maybe not. Here, Gabe. Sorry. If you need to see it, just let me know. You good? Good, Snig. Good. Have you gotten any ZQuil yet? I think that would really help you like get to sleep. Because you could take it during the stream, and then like within 20 to 30 minutes, it kind of lowers your like attention and stuff, so you can go to sleep easier. Oh, that's really cool! Andrew, I like that thing. Oh, it's 20 pound.
Wow, that's pretty cheap. That is really nice.
That's a nice arm. We have these two arms that are absolutely awful. They're like made with shower pieces or something. I don't even know what you call those, but...
Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
Calvera, yeah, Gabe is very good at hydration. I'll give him that.
What? Oh, yeah.
He's always drinking water. He's very good at that. And plus when we go to the gym.
Well, it's like when you rid the house of things like soda and orange juice and shit like that, then you really don't have any other options. I mean, I've got OJ in the fridge, but OJ is like $4 a thing, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna use it like sparingly. I've got little cups that I fill up, and it's maybe like that much. I think it's like a cup and a half of water, or a cup and a half.
We usually don't have like juice though, because it is sugary.
Yeah, it's mega.
Well, Gabe waters it down.
I don't actually anymore. I just have a lot less now, and I'm very while I'm eating, I'm very sparing with it.
Yeah.
Because I used to do like the blue cup, which is like a cup like that big, and then I would fill it like halfway or a third, and then I would fill it up with water. But now I'm like, I'm tired of having watered down orange juice. I'm just gonna have normal orange juice and just take sips.
That's how I felt about Diet Pop. I was like, you know what? If I'm just gonna have pop, I'm gonna have pop, and I'm gonna have the bad for you pop because if I want that taste, I want that taste, and I'll just take the hit. Bye, Snig.
Bye, Snig. I do have 6 drinks on me. Not today. I've got 2.
Calvera, it helps to have it next to you.
Get one of these.
Like, we have them next to us all the time. Yeah. We do use the Brita water bottles because we travel so much that it's always good to have a filter on it, just in case you don't know what that water's deal is. So,
especially if you're in Detroit.
Yeah, Yeah. I actually used to be really bad at drinking water, and it was before I started working out really seriously. And what I had was an app on my phone to remind me every hour to drink water. It was kind of bad. But that was also when I had a desk job. I think I'm better now that I'm freelance and that I work out all the time. But, because you get thirsty. I think the problem is with a lot of people that don't exercise, they don't understand the difference between thirst and hunger. So a lot of the time when you're actually thirsty, you feel hungry. So anytime, if you're not one to work out very often, you might have this problem. Anytime you feel like you're hungry, try drinking a lot of water first. Because when you start working out, you realize the difference in the cravings between I need water and I need food. When you're not used to it, they feel like the same thing. So always try before you eat to drink something first, and that might honestly do it for you. But yeah, it can help. The only problem is I don't think this thing would work for me because this camera is my computer. So for this one, it would really be in my space. Because on my left, I've got this lamp. So for me to have something that's clipped to the side wouldn't work. This sits on my desk. This one does.
I can't think of anything right now that I would use it for either, unfortunately. Because
it might be good for miniatures though. Like for mini acts, this might work. You know? Good job, Ebony. Keep going.
Good job, man.
You're gonna catch up in no time. All right, keep going.
Oh yeah, Spartan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
But hey, you know what?
I think for guys it's different too.
But I think like when you do work out, then you have that ability to
discern it.
But then you can consume things. Then it's like, all right, you worked out. You you spent energy. Now you have a credit to eat a bunch of
You're
stuff.
buying calories
Yeah.
you can eat. I mean, it's good that way. So, as I said, for anybody that does order that book that I made, that I showed earlier, I'll be probably shipping them out on Saturday. Which is funny, because anything you ship Saturday is going to go faster than anything shipped Friday, or even Thursday sometimes. The things I ship on Saturdays usually beat out the things I've shipped earlier in the week, which is the weirdest thing. But I even asked the post office lady about it, and she confirmed it, like, it's a thing. It'll go faster, so if you guys ever need something that's, like, a little bit time sensitive, but not so much where you have to buy extra postage, try doing it on a Saturday. It's crazy. Like, try to get it in on Saturdays. Like, we go to the post office enough where I know the post office lady now, and she gives me tips and tricks and things, so... And considering most of you are overseas, you're not going to infringe on me sending anything, so I'm okay with that. You don't live in upper Wisconsin like we do, so...
IGTV will be getting its own standalone app in a few days. You called it.
Oh my god! I totally called it! Oh my god! I feel so smart! That's my UI skills, man! I know what's coming! That's crazy! So, okay, just to catch you guys up. I was saying today that since IGTV, which is Instagram TV, which got added into the app today, I was telling Gabe, I'm like, usually when they do this and they get so much with their UI that they've got almost 2 different platforms within it, when it gets that crazy and the demand is so high, they're gonna split it. I was telling Gabe this earlier, I'm like, the fact that Instagram was made as a photo platform and not a video platform is kind of strange that they're adding all these video, like, auxiliary things to it. So I was telling him, I'm like, I'll bet you anything they're gonna split it off. I feel cool.
And so they're
I used to be in the gaming industry, so I know about UI.
they're not gonna have ads at the beginning, but
They are gonna monetize
well,
it?
they're gonna look for ways to monetize to help creators monetize.
That
after
means they're
launch.
gonna be going up against Twitch?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
But see, here's the thing with that is
Different demographics.
completely different demographic, and it
Just say it again.
completely different demographic.
There you go.
But I think what's great is that
Well, Twitch has ads too, Calavera.
yeah,
Technically.
Instagram might actually turn, or IGTV might actually turn into a better platform for us.
I don't know about that.
Because think about how much we struggle on Twitch, right?
We don't struggle so much because the difference is when we're posting our art, we are posting it for normal people. For our videos, though, they're for artists.
Right, but so then what I'm getting at is for us to jump on that like immediately, like we'll be in the forefront. Like right now we're sort of like in the second generation of Twitch creative, right?
Yeah.
So there's people like John Studio and Sam Peterson and all them people that
The older guys.
yeah,
the veterans.
they're the first wave of of Twitch creators. But now we're the second wave, and like we've been able to stick around. I've seen some people who don't stick around, and they were streaming for maybe like a few months, and now they're they didn't cut it, or they didn't they fell off. They didn't feel like maybe it wasn't for them. But Instagram, this new IGTV, if they do monetize it, that might be our.
They would have to make something very monetization like happy or easy, where
like the bits.
It'd have to be as easy or easier than bits.
Yeah.
Which is funny because since now Instagram is owned by Facebook, it would be using your PayPal because Facebook uses PayPal for their monetization. But
so I could totally see them like just you hook up your IGTV to your PayPal, give bits. It takes it right out of your PayPal. It'd be easy to just give away a couple cents.
So Andrew, YouTube is different because it's more for finalized videos and videos that have had production quality applied to them. So where you do cuts, you do certain kind of balancing regarding like color and audio, all that stuff. It's very high production value usually. People that stream on YouTube, it's different than Twitch because Twitch has monetization. So you see this jar in the middle of my screen? That's for things called bits. And if you look at the bottom, if you're on a desktop of your chat window, there's a little diamond shaped thing. That's how you can give people bits. It's basically the equivalent to throwing change to like a musician on a street corner, right? YouTube doesn't have that. YouTube is solely driven on ads and things, okay? Where Twitch has the bits, they have subs, where every time somebody subs, there's 3 tiers. There's a $5 tier, $10 tier, and a $25 tier, right? So I could be getting $25 a month from somebody, which is more than I'd be getting on YouTube when I started, right? The other thing is donations. So at the very bottom of the screen, you see that bar? That's for donations. That's for people that, just want to give me money. That's okay. If you don't want to do bits, but you want to just give straight up money, that's what donations are for. So you've got bits, subs, and donations all on Twitch. Those are all forms of income that Gabe and I can get off of this. YouTube, none of that.
You gotta hit a very specific level or a very tough to hit level to be able to start making good money off of monetization, like ad revenue off of YouTube. That's a tough cookie to crack.
Yeah, YouTube is more for the people that are already kind of big, where their demand is high enough to where people would just go watch them immediately, so they'd already have that pull. We don't have that, which is okay. We're okay with that because we're doing this stuff anyway, so we might as well stream it. We figure that's the whole reason we started Twitch, but we've made a lot of friends here and stuff, so it's actually worthwhile for us to just stay.
So, but I guess also in terms of, like, even if IGTV does do monetization, like the ability for us to have people on here, it seems a lot more intuitive to be watching on Twitch than on your phone. I mean, even people watch on their phone, Twitch on their phone anyways, but
I mean, Twitch is also on PS4.
Yeah.
Instagram's not.
No,
Yeah.
at least not yet, but...
and Twitch has that gaming side.
Yeah, it feels like Twitch is more user-friendly, so like, especially to get other people to your channel.
Yeah,
so
Instagram isn't for... I'm calling a lot of people that are on Twitch very much so experts. So there are 3, when you think about... Alright, I'm going back to my mobile game background for this. There are 3 types of people. There are the easy people, then there are mainstreamers, and then there are experts, okay? The easy people are usually the ones that like things that are pick up and play. They're not really invested. They're usually technologically cut off, right? They don't like tech. Mainstreamers are the people that always want to be kind of in something, but they don't want to put too much time into it. They don't want to learn too much, but they want to still be up to date, as much as they can be. And then there are experts, and the experts are the people that always, right the minute something comes out, they have it, they know everything about it, all that stuff. I usually say that Twitch is for the experts. They know tech, they're savvy with it, they know how to use it, they know their way around, they know how to get bits, they know how to do donations, all that stuff. Twitch people are very much in the computer and tech sphere. Mm-hmm. Instagram is more for the other 2. Mm-hmm. So grandma, your mom or dad, they can use Instagram, right? They're not going to watch us. They're not our demographic, which is weird because they are when I'm selling things, but they're not when I'm actually, being me and, being recorded and stuff. So it ends up being really interesting where when you're being recorded, you have a different demographic than when you're actually selling things, like at a convention. At a convention, grandma and mom are my favorites, but in this setting, it's the experts. And usually it's the artists and art enthusiasts who have a little bit more know-how in the tech, sphere, I'll say.
It seems like they're gonna have a lot of. Right now, they've got like Kim
True,
Kardashian.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah, all the teen girls are gonna be watching Kim.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Kim's not on Twitch.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, right now it's gonna be all about the celebrities, obviously, so that they can get the boost.
Yeah, I'm guessing anyone that's over like 100,000 or even higher than that, over 1 million, they're already signed onto this thing. They were signed on months ago. They're the forefront runners.
Yeah, they tapped them for that.
Yeah.
But so, like, I was reading also that anybody with over 10,000 followers can upload up to an hour's worth of video.
Yeah.
And then anyone below that is 10 minutes worth.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's still not a live thing though. I mean, maybe like on IGTV.
I think it could be.
They'll
like,
have live also, but
I'm guessing it'll tell you who's live now on this. Like when you go to the channels and you search for someone, it'll have it bisected and show you who's live and who was live. So you can either go in if you feel like it or watch a past broadcast, as well as go into someone's account and do the same thing, which they have now. Yeah, Spartan, it gets really obvious too when you start attending conventions, and depending on the convention, your demographic changes, which is really interesting. And we've been to enough conventions. We do enough conventions. We do at least 1 or 2 a month, if not 3 in some cases, where we've seen, depending on the con, what type of people we get. That's why we've cut out small anime cons completely, because it is not lucrative for us at all. We're very niche. A lot of our stuff is a little bit higher end price-wise. So in that instance, you know, we're not for the anime kids who got dropped off by mom with a $20 bill who want fan art. All of that is not us. You know, that is not us. So it's a waste of time to go those for us. But any of the big anime cons that almost breach over into Comic-Con demographic, prime. It's good for us. I see Miniacs. I could see it being everything. Like, it could be live, it could be past live, and it could be, like, uploaded. I mean, at this point, if they are sectioning off into a completely different app, there's no reason they can't just go full YouTube. My question is, who are they taking on with this? Because now that we're talking about it, it's not Twitch. I almost think they're trying to take on YouTube now. Which is kind of ballsy, if you think about it. Like, it's kind of like, whoa. Yeah, Facebook does own Instagram. Which is funny, because you can forward your Insta stories to Facebook. So now I'm wondering if Facebook TV is technically Instagram TV forwarded to Facebook eventually. Because, I mean, there's got to be some bleed over, because they can't not pull from their own, you know, outsources, which is really weird.
I wish there was a way to search on here.
On the TV? There
No,
is.
on photos to search, like to pull up just video.
Oh. Isn't there? Isn't it in videos?
Maybe. But no, it doesn't really give me an option.
Yeah, YouTube is at this point more for the, I'll say the experts. You know, the people who know what they've been doing. It's now like a veterans game where if you haven't been on YouTube forever, you might as well not start. It's like going into Halo or something, PvP now. You know, or at this point, Overwatch. If you went into Overwatch PvP, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're never going to catch up at this
Why
point.
try?
Yeah, why try? So, YouTube, aka YT, now stands for why try. YouTube's now trying to be Netflix, and IG is trying to be America's Funniest Videos. Bring back Vine. I loved Vine.
Yeah.
I thought Vine was fantastic. I was so sad when it closed. My dog had 500 followers. I was making the best puppy videos. Man, I love Vine. I'm that guy. But hopefully one day I'm not the guy that, like, people are like, oh, I bet you love MySpace too. It's like, shut up, man. There's someone out there right now that's like, man, I just want MySpace back. Someone. They're out there right now. Wishing for MySpace.
Some people got real popular off of that.
Yeah. But what's weird is that was pre-monetization. So, like, what could they possibly do? It's really
well,
weird.
I think they probably had things like
I think ads were still prevalent.
or like donate to me.
It might have been before PayPal had donation, like, what's the word? Caps and things and rules. Do you want to change your camera there? Have something on there that's worthwhile. MySpace is still going? I don't know. I lost track when it went to music. I was like, why is MySpace doing music? And I don't know. I know nothing. What's that mushroom for? Oh, on my screen? That's technically an extension for loyalty points, which I never actually filled out. So you can gamble with them and have fun with them if you want. If you click the mushroom, it takes you to a little like mini game area. So when a dog has more followers than all your channels combined, you get out what you put in, man. That's all I gotta say about that. Just make sure if you're ever putting any art or anything up, you're doing it for you and no one else. Because do not cater your art for another kind of demographic or anything or what's popular, because you're sorely going to be let down eventually. Guaranteed. Okay, he's holding a bag. What else should he be holding? Maybe a vial? That could be cute. Calvert is right. That's how you go. That's how you do it. The people that follow you for the art you make are going to be the ones that stay. If you make something and someone follows you because of that one picture, that is not an indication of what you should be doing. Do not change yourself for that one person. Even if it was 100 people, even if you got viral because of one thing, don't change what you're doing because of that one thing.
Don't be a dingus. Don't
be a dingus. Because obviously that's fleeting, that's empty, you don't want any part of that. Don't do it.
I don't know what that was, but it sounded fun. It's like...
It's true, Spartan. Yep. We do talk about that a lot on the channel. Because I've gotten people that are like, you know, should I be drawing pretty girls and flowers? It's like, do you like drawing that? No? Then why the hell would you do it?
What's wrong with your kid?
If you ever, you know, draw things that, I mean, aren't you, you're always going to be unhappy. And then when you draw something that is you, then your followers are going to be upset you didn't draw what you're normally known for, and then everybody's upset. If you draw what you want to draw, you're going to always be happy, and then the people that follow you because of what you like to draw followed you because of that, then they're always going to be happy too. It seems so dumb. Obvious. It's true, Andrew. That's the perfect way to put it. It's just people never seem to apply that to internet because they're hinged so much on likes and follows. So, pretty guys and fungus. Honestly, mushrooms are becoming mainstream. And I have taken note of this because I have a story I did about a guy from years ago, and I've been wanting to do it, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because I did it for me, but now that's the nice thing. When you actually do things for you, and at some point the things you like to do come into being popular, then you're just lucky. That's what viral stuff is, if you get lucky with what's popular. But I'm kicking myself that I don't have the story done because mushrooms are becoming a thing. So. Yeah, Spartan. So I was told by a lot of people that actually worked for Twitch that if I started doing fan art and, you know, drawing YouTubers and stuff, things like that, that I would get a lot of follows and get popular. And I kept trying to tell him that's not what I'm here for. And I think because he was based in gaming, he had a different kind of mentality about what people go on Twitch for. And that it's not what I'm about, especially the fan art part. I'm very against that. But even so, he was telling me how to do it, and it's like, damn, you know, that's true. I mean, if I wanted that, yeah, that's the way to do it. That's how I want. And I'm okay with that. If I have to wait a long time to get people who want to be here because of what I do, that's fine. At least then I know they're genuinely here for that reason. It's the same like with waiting to have real friends versus fake friends. You know, it's the same thing. Pets in armor are all you need. I mean, they do the job. Really, that's my only case of selling out, even though that's not selling out because I like to do it, and I'm doing it anyway. That's the whole reason I started doing it. It was because I was like, I'm doing medieval animals anyway. Why not just have some be pets, you know? And even so, even now, I raised my price and I'm kind of going away from it. Now that I've kind of built something with it, I don't have to hinge myself on it anymore as much. So, like, I've got that train going, so it's working its own momentum now to where I don't have to work as hard to get that brand out there or anything. It kind of is starting to go on its own, and I can work on the stuff that I'm even more passionate about, which is ideally the best thing. When you have something that's working that you created, that you wanted to do anyway, you can't fail. You're always happy doing what you're doing and working on it, you know? Glittering Glen, fairies, you gotta go to them. I hate to tell you, but if you're one of those artists that just stays home and just hopes you go viral or hopes you get popular, you gotta go to cons. You gotta get yourself out there. You gotta go to different events and things. You have to find your demographic. Most of the time, they will not come to you, which is the hard thing. I get majority of my follows and everything from going to conventions. Honestly, it's in this day and age when everybody is so concentrated and the internet is saturated with people, you have to go out and do the work. And that's where a lot of artists are just, they stop. They're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that far. But it's necessary, which sucks. But if you can do that and you put yourself out there extra, that's why we're on Twitch. We go to conventions, 1 or 2 or 3 a month, right? We're on here. All these avenues of exposure, Patreon, every like social media you can be on, everything, the more you do, the more you're going to get out of it, you know? Just how much do you want to put in? Oh, good, fairies. Well, if you ever do want more help with it or anything like that, we do give mentorships on cons. You get an 8-page document, basically, on how to do conventions, how to apply to conventions, how to travel to conventions, how to get hotels, how to deal with things that'll happen at conventions. All that kind of stuff. It even comes with a branding workshop. If you have a, you know, meh art name and you want to rebrand, I can tell you how and how to get a good one. But anyway, that's these. Page from Google said when Google started, don't spend money on ads, do your product and make it better every day. We'll not find you today, we'll find you tomorrow and tomorrow. Exactly, yeah. Calvary, that's a good point. That reminds me of when Gabe had told me when I had a book that had been out for maybe 3 years after I made it, I was feeling very guilty about it. And I was like, I haven't done anything new, blah, blah, blah. But if you go to new conventions, and Gabe brought this up to me, those are people who have never seen it before. So regardless of how old it is, they haven't seen it. It's new to them, right? So same thing with that. So fairies, the whole point of the mentorship too is to get you up to speed really quick, so you're not doing a lot of searching on your own. We tell you how to get riggings, we tell you where to get like stands and stuff, we tell you what best practices to have when, like, you know, being at your table, presenting yourself, stuff like that. Because a lot of people will kind of stumble their way there you know? And I was lucky because Gabe's been in the game for like 15 years. I started cons 2 years ago, but I have a branding and marketing background that he doesn't have, and he has the actual con experience that I didn't have. So with our powers combined, we made a document about it. So it's pretty nice. And I mean, I used to be in the whole 9 to 5, 40-hour-a-week office job doing cubicle stuff for 10 years. And that got old. That became no longer me. So because of that, I had to learn a whole nother world pretty quickly. So doing freelance has been both a good and a bad. And I've been lucky enough to have a lot of people around me that have had a lot of experience with it or know different things. Because you don't always need someone who has a ton of experience. Sometimes you need someone who just has different experiences than you. Even if somebody had been in a con sphere for like 2 months, if they had been to a con that I haven't been to, I'd want to pick their brain about it because they know something I don't. So being a part of something for a long period of time doesn't necessarily dictate that they know a lot about it. It's more variety, I'd say. Form of Google Docs. It's true. True, Andrew. True. Just gotta stay true to yourself, man. That's the hardest part that I feel like a lot of people have trouble with, either because they don't know who their true self is, which is very true, and I'll even say that was me for a while. Like, I had to figure out what even my true self was about. And I think you're always trying to find it, and you do change over time regardless, so even when you find it, it's like, is this really me forever? But you gotta learn to grow and adapt and change and be okay with it, you know? Like, let's say for some reason I got tired of fantasy and I wanted to switch over and do sci-fi. I would rebrand completely if that was my thing. If that's what my heart was pulling me towards, that's where I'm going. Art is philosophy, homie. Yeah, always, Andrew. So that was part of my problem, was my day job was art as well, and then when I got home I was doing art. So I was burnt out a lot and didn't want to do my own stuff by the time I got home because I was still doing art. You have to figure out a way to segment it in your own head so that you're able to reserve some energy for later on if you do want to eventually get your own stuff up to par and be able to suspend yourself on it, you know, and sustain. And to do that, you usually need to do a lot of things outside of work. Towards the end, I was taking days off of work to prep things, to make books, stuff like that, because, you know, my priorities shifted to where I no longer cared about a career in making games or anything like that because it was really money hungry and terrible on the mobile game end. So I ended up valuing my ideas and my art over that. So that doesn't mean I let this fail, you know, while I was at work, I did worse work. No. I just learned how to, like, during my lunch breaks, I would think about the things I needed to do later so that when I was burnt out at home and I didn't want to do anything or think about any projects, I got to work on the fun parts. UPS. Where, like I said, while I was in thought mode at work, that's when I would do all the hard thinking. And then when I got home at night, that's when I got to do the fun part, which was rendering out or drawing or whatever. So, I want to see your sci-fi. I used to be sci-fi actually before I was fantasy, which is part of the funniness, I guess, of me saying if I wanted to switch. A lot of my sci-fi was on my DeviantArt account, and I was doing a lot of, like, robots. I had a thing with robots. Now I've actually done a series with robots, and I usually work on it during March of Robots. But I'm going to make that into a book eventually. I wanted maybe one more iteration of these robots, maybe another March of Robots. It's one of those things where I've got a couple series that I work on throughout the year. So, example, Inktober, I have one series that every year I work on a little bit, and now I'm 3 years in, and I'm about to the point where I can turn that into a book. And so I've got all these projects that are at various stages that I, you know, give time to every month or something. So doing that too is okay, you know. Yep, it's true, Spartan. Very true. Steps are still steps. My favorite quote that got me through losing a ton of weight, honestly, from exercise, as well as getting to the point I could freelance, was my motto was, something is better than nothing. So rather than not working out at all, I'd say 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes always turned into like 40. And I'd be able to do that. Same with drawing. If I didn't feel like drawing, I'd tell myself a couple minutes. End up drawing for a couple hours. It's great. It's a really good motto. It works for me. I'm sure it works for other people. The hardest part is always getting started. And I feel like that's part of the strength of that motto, because it'll get you to start. And there's like no commitment, and that's why you're like, sure, why not? Yeah, it's I thought of it and I was like, oh my god, this works. This works for me. In the Discord, could you put that I'm streaming? I totally, unless you want to end soon.
I mean, I'm done with my page, so.
Oh, you finished your page?
Yeah.
Okay. I was ahead, so that's why I'm working on a concept for a character here for tomorrow's thing. Which tomorrow's is the merchant stock. So here is my merchant. He's a cutie. I have a thing for porcupines. I don't know why his hand's doing that. What do I want him doing? I'm doing that. That is my banner waving, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That sound?
Mm-hmm.
It's creepy. And the whole reason why JourneyJune was made, for those of you coming in late, like Ebony, I don't know if we even explained to you why JourneyJune exists, but we were tired of hearing people tell us they had stories and they didn't have anything to show for it. And it's like, well, you have lots of characters and stories and stuff, well, let's see them. And they'd never be able to show us. So Gabe and I kind of got frustrated with that. And we wanted to make an easy way for people to start understanding how a story works and how a story feels as you go through it. And I think a lot of people have never felt that, or felt what it's like to finish a story, which is a crazy feeling. Once you've been through a story, you kind of know what to expect for every story after that. But if you haven't finished it, and if there was no template, and you're one of those people that's had a story for 10 years, you need to just finish something. So you know what it feels like, what the journey is like to finish something. Especially something that's not a quick thing, that's not, what's the word, an instant gratification
It's
scenario.
like a pin-up, like it was just one
It's not an
illustration.
illustration, it's a project, right? And the month scenario for us, we've always turned monthly illustration challenges into narratives, just on our own, because we're storytellers. Gabe and I are storytellers. Yeah, we can do illustration, but at our core, we have so many stories that we just keep getting out, right? And if you're like that, but you haven't done it yet, this was supposed to be your transition to that, to be able to do that, be able to feel what it's like, know what to expect, and in the future, just start pumping out stories, you know? So that's kind of how this was birthed, is we're sick of hearing people talk the talk, we're going to teach them to walk the walk so that they can do it. And when somebody asks you next time, you have a story I can see? You say you have stories? Yes, I do. Actually, during JourneyJune last year, I have this. You can actually see it on this hashtag, where we make you create your own hashtag for the story as well. Which, honestly, people should be doing that for their illustration challenges, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, you did Mermaid? What is it? Well, it's Cloverkin Mermaid 2018 hashtag. And then you get to see what I did for that year. And everything after that. But, yeah. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing for you. You only know that, though, after doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, it has to be a lot of something. Oh, bye, Calavera. Oh, and bye, Mini Eggs. Thanks for coming. Yeah, it's probably similar to finishing a D&D campaign, Spartan. True.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ushi's back. He's a curmudgeon. Good, Ebony. See, that's part of it. You're actually figuring out how a story goes. And if you've done it a few times, like Gabe and I have, you start to realize that the story takes over at one point. You develop a character. So this was the first assignment before the month even started. We told people to make a hero. Brand new hero. No one you have any attachment to beforehand, nothing. So you make your hero. You can learn a lot about the world they live in by the hero themselves, right? So immediately when you start that challenge, you're able to discern a few things like where they live, what's their like social status, what kind of, the environment, what's that like, what's their occupation, what do they do on a daily basis, that sort of stuff. Then from there, you can even extrapolate it more and figure out based on each prompt what that should be like, what it looks like, what kind of form the story should even take. This is very much a kid's book, so obviously I was like, oh man, I'll try storybook. Well, it ended up going more comic, and that's okay. I just have to make sure when I make it, it's a comic book that's approachable for kids, and that's a fine balance that I need to figure out later, but it's doable. It's just you have to be cognizant of it and know, what you're going to have to do with it. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, it takes over, even though you had this original idea for it, and you're like, oh, I want to make this sort of story. Story will be like, nope, sorry, that doesn't fit in me. That's not good. I don't like how this feels. It's its own monster eventually, which people need to know what that feels like. And you need to be, as a storyteller, very good at adapting and letting it happen. Or else your story's going to feel forced. Things are going to feel out of place. Like, in this instance, last night I was like, man, I really feel like it should be some sort of magical element or something super special. But you know what? No, it ended up being a carrot because that made sense where she is in the story, how it leads her to the end. Otherwise, if I put in like a gem right here that didn't mean anything and it was some random thing and maybe it leads her to the bunnies, like what is that? That's so just wedged in there and forced. It's super forced. This is super organic. It's part of the world. It's not special by other people, but for her, maybe she's never seen a carrot before. Maybe this is rare in telling her where she is. It's very telling. That's what made it a rare item. Same thing goes for back here when I was doing the hideous horror. Okay, when I was doing the hideous horror, I was like, man, I gotta make a monster or something. Maybe I can make it a metaphor. Nope. It ended up being the environment. And what's funny is I don't usually put myself very much into my stories, but this one in particular actually fit the story. So I think this is what people mean when they actually do put parts of themselves in a story, but it's not forced. It's very pertinent and very thematic. So the fact that she lands in a lake here, with this hang glider leaf she made, and she lands in the lake and there's milfoil that ties itself around her. I was scared to death of milfoil when I was a kid. Basically, it's like lake seaweed, right? And it grows up to the top and it just hangs out at the top. It's super scary. But anyway, I had her get tangled in that, and that was her horror. So you're able to kind of take our prompts and interpret them a little bit, but we still need to understand why it is the way it is, and it should be very apparent. If you've written the story according to kind of how we've laid out, it should be really obvious. I'm on page 3, my concept has already kind of changed, and that's okay. That is more than okay. I'm glad you guys are already learning this. That's fantastic. Because a lot of people fight it, and they'll try to force things, and that's not what storytelling's about. It's telling the story that, you had for this character, and it just, they tell you what they want. You created them. It's like having a kid. Kids are going to buck you, right? They're going to be like, Dad, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a musician. And then you can't force them to be a doctor. They're going to be a musician, It's that sort of thing. Your story is your child, All you got to do is nourish it and help it to reach its fruition, what it's meant to be. And to me, it's kind of sad when stories are dropped. You know, it feels like you abandon it, you gave up. Sometimes that's necessary when you outgrow it. But for the most part, I think it's good to at least realize it in some sense, you know? Or when you do outgrow it, acknowledge it. It's part of growing up, you know? Like, I left behind a lot of stories I had in high school because I wouldn't even do them justice now. The world has changed. Honestly, if I wrote it now, it'd be looked at as a Supernatural clone. Like, the show, Supernatural, is basically what my old high school story was, so I don't even need to make it anymore. Even if I wanted to. It just wouldn't fit in this day and age, you know? So, sometimes not even just you will outgrow it, but the world will, you know? Or it'll answer a call that you had that you weren't able to fulfill at the time, so it does it on its own. Yeah, Andrew. Oh my god, that's a perfect way to put that. So I've been telling Gabe that I need to be in a certain mindset for story writing, and I usually kind of hermit myself and listen to some music that fits the story, things like that, but he's able to just pump it out. He could be in the car, people could be yelling at him, doesn't matter, Gabe can still write stories regardless. Not me, I gotta be in the mood. It's like sex for me. It's like, you have to be in the mood, you gotta set the mood, you know? But I think that might just be because he's more of an experienced storyteller than I am, but yeah. Oh, Ebony, that's sweet. That's always kind of sad, isn't it? It's like a world just ended. Also, I get really depressed hearing about, I know this is kind of messed up, but I get really depressed hearing about MMOs shutting down.
Yeah.
Like, people spent time, players and creators, making this world, and then you just destroy it, or it's just gone. It's like it never existed. You can't go back. You had memories there. It was an entire world. Like, think about that. It's crazy. Yeah, Corey, that's exactly what that was. It's so true. It's like they're answering the call of what people might want, and some of you may have been tapped into that, but like for me, I was too young. I was in high school, I wasn't able to, like I said, justify that call, but Supernatural came out, and that's probably what that was doing, and people loved it. You know, and that's where I think clones come from too, is around the same time something's popular, everybody wants to jump on it, right? Exactly. Spartan, you get it. You guys know what's up. I'm gonna give him forearm wraps because I feel like he wants to hold back his quills in case he's interacting with a customer, he doesn't accidentally prick them. It's him being considerate. So the other thing is, with characters like this, obviously this is more of a fleshed out version, but when I draw him, he's going to be a lot more simplified because I don't want his detail to actually either take away from the story or take away my want to do the story because he's so detailed. Free source or storytelling that could be applied to a photographer. Oh, there's tons. Magazines too. I mean, really, Andrew, if you look into any sort of like compositional theory or anything like that based on like the shots you compose, like where they are, if it's a close-up, middle shot, long shot, all that stuff, like look up like directorial tutorials where they're because this stuff all bleeds into each other. Like if you know how to storytell, if you know how to compose an image, anything like that, it can help you in all other areas. It help us, it help you. So if you look up that sort of thing and see what kind of compositions and moods have an effect on people, there's a bunch of philosophy to it, to like where, you know, if you're in a close shot, how that makes people feel. There's a lot of philosophy behind that, and
I think honestly, just watch movies.
that too.
I mean,
A lot of well-known like Hitchcock movies and stuff like that, like the greats. If you look at why they're great, a lot of the time those rules breach into every kind of art, sculpture, illustration, music videos, stuff like that, games.
Like in terms of like telling a story, like really like a movie is really just a photo that's moving. Like that's all it is. So if you just or looking at storyboards that people have done, like.
So actual story is, and that's what I'm saying, like directors and stuff, where things are placed. So with story, I mean, you're trying to answer, this is a big one, actually. If you can just keep this in mind every time you're making a photo, the who, what, when, where, why, and potentially how, if you can answer as many of those as you can in the image, it's going to be a strong image. So like whenever you look at like a National Geographic photo, let's say, it'll usually satisfy those questions. It'll be like, well, who is it? Well, it's this girl. What's happening? Well, she's in a war. Why? Well, politics and stuff and whatever it'll tell you, right? The image will most likely tell you. Like the chick putting the flower in the gun. Think of that image, right? I'm sure a lot of you even know that image. And the who, what, when, where, why, how. Like, when is it? It should answer all those, and I think that's going to tell your story. Because if you don't answer anything, it might just be, I don't know, even an image that's like not even political or anything, it's just artistic, it'll have those elements to it. You know, it'll have an era most likely associated with it. Even if the era doesn't exist, it might be sci-fi, right? But it'll tell you the who, what, when, where, why, how. But definitely try to answer that. And staging is super important too. So a lot of wedding photographers do this kind of stuff too, where in the foreground they'll have the rings like on each other, right? Look up the 3/4 rule too, 3/4 rule. That's a huge one. It's about offsetting something within a frame, in that it's more powerful than centered or mainly just centered. It's about asymmetry having power. So usually a 3/4 shot, this is normal, is like having the rings like that, having that in focus, and in the background having the couple kind of out of focus, you know, that sort of thing. There's a story there, stuff like that. Like you can play with focus, you can play with staging. Staging's very important. But definitely, there's a lot you can do, but I absolutely implore you to think of those questions, the who, what, when, where, why, how, every shot you make. Like every composition you're putting together, all that stuff. Oh no, Andrew. I don't know if you've ever been to one of our streams before, but this is the norm. We talk a lot. And honestly, I'm talking more than Gabe this one, but usually he talks about as much.
It is your stream, so.
Well, yeah, but I like when you talk.
I know, but I defer to your stuff.
He'll add things if he wants. But yeah, no, don't worry about deterring from the drawing. We're, I'm not going to say veterans, but we're at least pro with that we know, you know, what we can get done while we're talking and stuff like that. But while I'm streaming, that's the whole reason I'm here. If I wanted to just spend time on my drawing, I won't be streaming. So, I know what I'm getting into streaming. Gabe does too. And when we're done and we'll go. But, you know, for the time we're here, we answer as many questions as we can with the knowledge we have. And we try to make friends along the way. I feel like that's the whole point, you know? No, don't worry about taking over the chat or anything like that. I'm sure someone else has gotten something out of this too. Don't feel like it's been just for you. I'm sure someone else is like, oh yeah, that's good. I can use that in this, you know? That sort of thing. Everything is useful, especially in art. I feel like, you know, you go to a museum I don't care if you're an artist, a sculptor, anything. You're going to take something out of it. You're going to be, either angry, depending on the museum, inspired, motivated to do something, leaving that or going to another country. This is part of the reason people say that, like, when you're in a lull or something, go outside, go see something happen, be moved by something, go to another country, things like that are really going to put you outside of yourself and challenge you, which I feel like as an artist, that's what you're about. You're about interpreting the world in your own way and feeding it back and potentially connecting with somebody depending on how they feel about it. And that's why there are so many of us, because each one of us has a different thought on how something should be interpreted. Maybe somebody's really angry about something, but someone else is more apathetic. And, there's someone for everyone when it comes to how something's interpreted. And that's why I think politics is a little screwed up, because there's more than just two ways of thinking about something. And two-party seems a little outdated. Ebony, that's kind of true. Gabe, that's more in your boat. So Gabe has worked for the new people here. He's worked for DC, Marvel. He works for Oni Press more recently. So he's actually a professional comic artist. So if anybody has any comic-related questions or anything like that, Gabe's the one to ask. I'm the guy for gaming, but Gabe's the guy for comics.
Well, I guess if you just have a talking head, then yeah, but that...
But even if you were answering those within there,
then you're...
Don't force them, but...
Yeah, all those... Every single panel in a comic...
Or a movie.
Or a movie. Or,
every scene. Every scene and every comic or panel are supposed to have a purpose.
Yeah, they have a purpose. It's not like you're just drawing something to draw it,
It's like, okay, if you're doing a close-up shot, why?
Yeah, there's a reason for that shot. And I think a lot of times people will draw comics, like people who haven't drawn a lot of comics, they'll draw comics and they'll do panels that look, like panels like this. Like you'll have a page, and then you've got, maybe the first panel, but then you have a panel that's like this, and you got a circle panel, and then you got this panel. It's like, what do you need? What do you need a circle panel for? Like, no, this is just being people seeing other things and being like, oh, that's cool. They put a circle as a panel. I'm gonna put a circle as a panel. Whoever did that in an actual comic, it was probably for something specific. I've done it. And it was for something very, very specific. Or if I do this... I would
think like you're looking through something.
Through something, or if it's just like a...
binoculars or telescope.
Yes, usually I use it as a bubble of someone's face, and they're talking from like a spaceship or something. Or if it's a weird shaped angle thing like this, it's... Because there's a very dramatic action going on. But I've seen people use this when it's just people talking, and it's like, no, they're not even talking dramatically. They're like, hey, how was your day? And you've got this angle? No, why? That's really weird. That'd be like if you're making a movie and like you're moving around the camera like Michael Bay, and like, hey, how was your day? Oh, it was pretty good. I went to the park. Whoa, no, unnecessary. So everything has a reason.
It's true. And if you think about those shots that are very Michael Bay, like his slow-mo through things, why is he doing that? Does he even know? No, he probably just stopped production and was like, yo, let's have this girl screaming while a transformer's jumping over her from her angle, and it's like, whoa! Was there really a point to that? I mean, we've already seen like all their parts and stuff from your intro of them. What is this doing? This slowing down the scene, but why? This is an action scene. What are you doing? Like, I don't know. So that's why Gabe and I get very critical of movies too. Because we're asking these things as if we were helping make the movie, and it's a lot of the time it's like, why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Oh, that's a good one, Andrew. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it on a big TV if you can. It's great. And the sound's great. Especially if you like the old movie, you'll like this one. Gabe's a big Blade Runner fan, and he approves.
It's a little less dry,
yeah.
but it's still good good successor, predecessor, or whatever.
Oh, Ebony's talking about not. Yeah, you don't need a background if you're doing a
Yeah.
close-up. We've talked
No.
about this
Yeah,
before. It all depends on what's called for in the shot. So if you're doing a close-up, most likely it's an intimate reaction or a scene like a reaction face where that's necessary. If you've already established where they are, hopefully you have, then yeah, you don't need to. In fact, the background will take away focus.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to walk through this process to figure out yourself why these things need to happen. Like exactly what Gabe was saying. He knows that because he's made so many. Okay? A lot of newer people won't know that. You know, so that's why you have to walk the walk to figure it out. But yeah. Yeah, Ushi, that's... Yeah. That's a lot of the people we know, too. They're so into anime and manga that they just want to make their own, but they've never done anything. And, like, one group we know, and yeah, a group of people, also a problem. Too many cooks in the kitchen problem. They have an anime or manga, they don't even know at this point what it is, with hundreds of characters. And they've been working on it for, like, 10 years. What are you doing? Stop it. Move on. Try something smaller. Every time we've told someone, like, if they're starting something, start small. I know it's like an ego hit, but you have to admit, if you're starting something, you have to start small. Okay? I don't care if you're doing carpentry, being a mechanic, an artist, a storyteller, you have to start small. Do like a 5-page story. Maybe it's just images. 5 images tell a story. Okay? Like, you're not going to build a table or a car from scratch right away. You're going to start smaller than that. You're going to whittle something or make a little toy car or things like that. You're not going to just go for it, right? You have to learn about it.
You can't eat that steak in one bite.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Can you sharpen this one?
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. That's why I won't watch it anymore. Sorry if that's loud. Yeah. No, anime, in our sense, we're 30s now. Gabe's 38. I'm 32. I grew up on anime, and it was totally different back then. Totally different. Now it's over dramatic, overacted. You're, like, taken out of the story because they're overacting. And, like, it's become its stereotype, which sucks. Because it used to be pretty cool, serious, and not so emo.
You know, actually, I started reading
My Hero Academia?
Yeah, My Hero Academia, and it opens with the one character, and then there's like one bully kid, and maybe like a few other like, you know, like henchmen to the bully kid, but they don't really say, oh, that's what's his face, you know, they don't say that. And then they introduce the Almighty, which is like the big like dude.
The guy.
And that's really it so far. And I'm like halfway through the first volume, and that's really it. Maybe a couple of like actual superheroes that they just show once in a while. But really, like, you don't have a grandiose cast of people.
But what's weird is that one's well known for the anime being different than the manga in the sense of like cheesiness. Like we tried. He watched the first one with me, and he read it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
oh my god.
Yeah. Like I think it was like episode 2 or 3, and we were trying to watch it, and I think it's because of the localization, like the translation into English. It's just crazy. Way too cheesy. Yeah. But in the book, it's way less like, well, you kid, you gotta be better if you're gonna be stronger. It's like, I think it's the voices. The voices take me out of it.
That's what I'm saying.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't
it's
stand
overacted. It's too dramatic. Like, I'm thinking back to Trigun, and as Spartan said, Ava.
Yeah.
I mean, Ava had a really good balance of emo and like actual seriousness. Like, it was well balanced, and I know it ended up being a mess. I'm not saying it's not a train wreck, it's a train wreck. But back then, it felt like that's, you know, what these have almost caricatured.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they feel like a caricature now, which is the weird thing about anime. Like, we're looking at them, it's like, I know what they're trying to do here, but it's going way above and beyond what it needs to.
I think that's why I also liked Bebop.
Yeah, Bebop was serious, it was laid back, it wasn't so ADD.
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Everything's like,
Mhm.
and honestly, the only thing I watched recently that reminded me of old anime was Attack on Titan. That was one of the only animes I've watched recently that actually made me feel like, okay, this is cool, right? But it's my new Dragon Ball, Ushi said.
That's what it's starting to feel like.
Now, Spartan, which one are you talking about? The original one, the redone one, the movies, the redone ones? Like, which Ava? Because honestly, the new ones are great. And they even added a character. So...
You know what I was just thinking?
Huh.
11 would be a great...
Anime character?
No, like the guy from Ava.
Shinji?
Yeah, like if she were to cut her hair, you know?
Eh.
He just always seemed very feminine to me.
I don't know about that. I think one of the boys from it would be, but yeah. And we've been watching Stranger Things lately, and to kind of catch up with the kids these days. And honestly, that show deserves why it's getting acclaim. Because at first we were like, why is this...
Yeah, what's going on?
We go to cons all the time. We're like, why is this show so popular? What's the deal? It deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
It's well written, well executed. It's good. It feels like an anime, like a
Yeah.
good anime.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first few episodes we were like, okay, what's going on here? This is weird.
My problem with anime is that they went away from having deep characters and they're all just two-dimensional. So you get a character who's the evil guy that takes pleasure in evil and he's always smiling and he's like, I'm gonna torture you. And it's like, okay, cool. Another one. You know, it's... I don't know. So then I think back to like Legato with Trigun, and he was at least a little bit, you know, more deep. Stuff like that. It's just... The characters nowadays, it's like everybody's got so much energy. I'm evil because I'm evil. Exactly. That's what I'm not into.
It's like they haven't quite learned how to write characters like a Dr. Freeze.
Dr. Freeze?
Dr. Freeze! Mr. Freeze.
I mean, he should have been a doctor. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he probably is a doctor. They just fucking...
That sounds like a cheap knockoff, like...
Drink.
Yeah, like Super Chill.
Yeah.
Dr. Thunder. Mountain Lightning. Props to anyone who's had Dr. Thunder or Mountain Lightning. You know where I'm coming from. And honestly, anime is one of those things now which sucks, where the fandom is starting to be kind of bad. Which, I mean, back in my day, it was too. Like, the anime kids were a little bit eccentric or, you know, whatever, but nowadays it feels even more so. And I know you know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
But
Thermophysics.
it's true, it's always been bad, but I feel like, especially, I don't know, Ushi, have you been to an anime con in a while? Like, I know you went to Comic-Con, but that's totally different. That's why you're... Yeah, but you're not that bad. You're also an adult. I guess it's the kids now growing up in the anime fandom.
But I think it's because, like, the way that the characters are written, let's think about, like, Goku. Like, everyone wants to be a Goku. Or, well, not even. Goku is...
I was Vegeta.
Yeah.
I was very much Vegeta.
I think I'm thinking more of Naruto, where Naruto is like...
Naruto, for sure.
Yeah, nobody likes me, but I'm gonna be the best. You know, and, like, every kid who... It seems like every kid that watches anime, like, religiously, is not the popular kid at school.
They can relate to it.
They relate immediately to Naruto. You're an outcast.
That's why Ash Ketchum was weird, because he wasn't an outcast. He was just himself, but he, like, was everybody's guy. He always made a friend.
But he Pokemon was more about collecting, you know, like they...
It was, but if you think of him like the actual hero, he is kind of outside the norm for an anime hero.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
But But so I think like.
Made in Abyss? Okay. I'll check it out, Spartan. Thank you.
Oh, I think that's that one that I've been wanting to read.
That sounds
It's
good.
super cute.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the one I was. They like. I think they like travel. They go like underground. Like the world runs on like mining, and like the deeper you get into like the underground to like mine things, like the more toxic it is.
That's like City of Ember.
Oh, I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Spartan, have you ever seen City of Ember? And if you have, is it like that? Yeah, Corey, that's what I've heard too. A lot of the people we know that were fans of Naruto didn't like him himself.
Mm-hmm.
It is dark.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking at. That's what I kept seeing. It's not a. They're all kids, I think, right?
I mean, that's very, I guess, battle royale too in a way.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the thing about the anime community is that they're low key in public, but then once you get them at an anime convention, you can be yourself there, and they're not allowed to be themselves otherwise. So
which sucks because they should be themselves wherever they are.
But and that sucks because then they don't know how to act appropriately like adults, or even like. You know, like I don't want to say normal teenagers, but like teenagers adjusted teenagers who have normal social lives where they have friends and they.
I mean, this is coming from us. We used to be the anime kids. It's just the anime kids have changed. In what they are. It's gotten
a lot more, especially now. Yeah, especially now with the internet. Like the kids don't go outside to go hang out with people. They still do it on. They do it online now, and it's like you have a lot more time to calculate a response when you're online, whereas when I'm having a conversation with a younger kid, they're like, well, yes, the intellectual property of that situation is that, and they can't form sentences together because it takes them too long to like.
But I mean, this aside, obviously there are people that have actual problems too. That's different, like autism.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
we're not referring to that.
No, we're not referring to that. We're just referring to the kids that don't have social, like their social bar on their RPG list is not very good.
Yeah, so Ushi, you were one of the people I knew that was like super hardcore into it, where they dedicated themselves to it and wanting to know why it is the way it is, which that's cool. I respect that because you're actually like serious about it. It's different when you're using it almost as a crutch. Where like when I got into it, like I wasn't always like this. Like I'm usually a nerd and stuff. Like I don't know. It's different depending on who you are. Yeah, context clues and social cues. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing. They think faster than they can speak, and I feel like that's anyone who's been too hinged on the internet. And we've noticed this a lot, and I actually had to deal with this a lot as well with programmers in the gaming sphere. They had a hard time verbally articulating what they mean as opposed to writing emails and stuff. They were so much better through email than actually, like, because I'm a face-to-face person. So I would go to their office, be like, what did you mean by this one thing? And I should have almost asked on email because they would have had a better, easier time explaining it. So it's an interesting thing that our world has become, I guess.
Dichotomy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow, Ushi, that's crazy. Yeah. Like Lincoln. Basically. I mean, it's weird because I think Gabe and I were both the same type of person in high school. Where, Ushi, you know what I'm talking about with the programmer thing, right? But, like, Gabe and I weren't ever hard outcasts, but we weren't popular either. We were the weird kids that were okay with it, but we could still talk and mingle with the popular kids. We were like the everybody guy, right? And I was friends with everybody. It didn't matter if you were, I didn't have close friends, really. They were horrible, the ones I did have, but I was kind of part of everyone in a way. I was from a small town, so that made sense. Regardless of the cliques, which almost barely existed for me. Like I said, small town. But everybody was kind of friends with everybody. There were a couple that were more outcasty than me, but I was definitely in the lower rungs. I was super goth, for one thing, but, you know, I was sick for a year and it's hard to talk to people, and I used to talk the most. That makes sense. That's understandable. Yes, Ushi. Yeah. You very much are outside the programming, like norm for programmers. I also married a programmer, so I'm very close to knowing what programmers were like, you know. But yeah, properly feed them. It's true. They do. They forget. They hermit and they forget about eating and the like. But it's just interesting. The things we notice when at conventions, and different types of conventions bring in different types of people. You know, so there are things we've noticed, and it's just interesting. We like to talk about it because it's interesting. We're not trying to put anyone down or hold anyone up above anybody else. These are just things we've noticed. You know, it's just interesting. So it's funny you say that, Ebony, because I consider myself more introverted than extroverted. In this day and age, as an artist, if you want to be more on the edge of, like, just being known, you have to get out. I don't care if you're 100% introvert. You have to turn into an ambivert, or else you're not going to get anywhere. Even, like, famous introverted artists, like, I would even call Wiley introverted.
I have no idea.
Like, with how she works and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she needs to be out there, too. You know, a lot of artists, regardless of how introverted you are, you at some point have to go out there. I am not extroverted. I know I sound like it, but I am not. I've just had a lot of practice talking to people throughout various jobs and things like that. I'm not an extrovert. I would rather stay inside all the time. I will not go to a party voluntarily, most likely, usually. Unless it's, like, related to my career, and then I feel forced to. But really, it sucks nowadays because you have to get out there, because all the introverted artists are going to be online, and they're going to think they can make it just doing everything online. You have to be really fucking good, alright? Really, to make it online, and just online, and be that good. Think of people like Sakimi, okay? Zeronis probably, too. They are probably hermit folks. They don't get out very much. They don't go to cons as much as, say, we do. We have to grind, because we're not... Our styles are very niche, you know, and they're not in the popular sphere ever, you know, so for people like us, and sometimes that just happens as an artist, your art that you like to do might not, you know, be parallel to what's famous right now, or what's popular, right? That's just the cards we were dealt. I like to draw animals that are, like, this is a merchant porcupine. Who, you know, that's a very small amount of people that would usually like that. I don't draw hot girls and flowers or, you know, cute anime boys on each other, stuff like that. I don't draw any of that. That's not where my heart is, and I'm not gonna lie just to get money. Neither is Gabe. We're not that type. So unless that's where your heart is and you're just lucky, because that, I would consider that luck, you know, then you're gonna have to grind, and you're gonna have to try harder, and you're gonna have to put yourself out there regardless of how much it hurts. So, Ebony, the fact that you met me at the con the way you did, I mean, this is how I've learned to be, because I had to. So if any of you ever want to do cons and make your art get out there, and you're not one of the popular styles or anything, you're going to have to work extra hard. But every bit of success you get is going to be that much sweeter, alright? Draw big anime booties and fan art. Oh. Yeah, because that's being true. Yeah, there you go, Ushi. The nice thing about being a famous artist, though, a lot of the time, and actually Tim, our old roommate, brought this up, and he's right, is that we'll never be like rock star status. Gabe might, because comic artists kind of get there. But as far as just illustration goes, you're never really like a rock star. You can still go into a grocery store and no one will know who you are.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess, because like it's not like you can go to a store and do a signing.
Yeah.
But like I could go to a comic shop and be like, hey, can I do a signing here next week?
Yeah.
And then I'll have a line of people. But otherwise,
But like
yeah.
J. Scott Campbell going into a grocery store, he'll probably have a few people who know who he is. Stuff like that. But for most of illustrators, if we ever get famous, it's not like famous, you know? Yay, Corey! Good!
Nice.
Get them likes. Oh, Spartan, you're hitting all my wrong buttons, but I know you're trolling me. I love you. So, Ushi, that's funny because we have a friend who pretty much strictly draws hentai. You know, and ecchi and stuff. Like, he's in it hard. And if that's what you like doing, there's a way to capitalize on that and to monetize it. So Patreon is great for that stuff. Honestly, the thing that sucks though is you're probably going to get ripped off. You're going to have people that put your art up for free somewhere else, right? If you're on Patreon and you draw porn and stuff. If you want to draw porn, draw porn. Just do it right. And keep it separate from a different art side of you. So if you do porn but also do traditional oil paintings of fish, okay? Let's say you do both those. Different art accounts, different art names, different brands, okay? Make sure to do that because otherwise you're going to regret it 100% one day. But yeah, Ushi, Patreon, if you want to go there, go there. Like, our friend just doesn't want to... I don't know, he's lazy. He's a little lazy. He somehow he creates a lot, but he's lazy at the same time. I think he's lazy with his branding.
Yeah.
His art side and production are strong, but he never wants to turn that into the product it deserves to be.
But then he complains about not having money.
There you go, Ushi. See, at least you know that about yourself. A lot of artists don't. Like, if I were to get famous, what would I want to be famous for? And a lot of my friends have been trying to push me to make my entire booth about the pets in armor. No. I don't want to be known for that. It's nice that it brings the boys to the yard, we'll say. But that's not what I want to be. I want to be known for just being Cloverkin. Drawing things like this stupid porcupine with giant jowls, you know? Like, this is the sort of stuff. Hazel's story, things like that. I don't want to be necessarily forever the pets in armor chick. I want to be Cloverkin who also does pets in armor. But the minute I make my entire booth about that, no, it's over. So I keep telling them no and they get frustrated with me. And at least you know that too, Ushi. That's so good. I'm so proud of you. You know yourself so well. And I find that very, I don't know, it brings me peace to hear that someone knows themselves so well. That's cool, man. Props. Okay, so this guy is ready. So I'm gonna probably be doing him either tonight or tomorrow in tomorrow's comic for his prompt. Did you do tomorrow's prompt or today's prompt?
Today's.
Today's. Are you gonna flesh it out more than you did? Or how did you?
I penciled it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
cool. Alright. Are you ready to go then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're probably gonna go. Fridays are our day off from streaming, so we won't be on tomorrow. But Saturday, upper right is Gabe's address thingy, whatever, fuck, URL. I'm tapped out now. All my brain juice is gone. But Saturday, 4 p.m. CST, that's Central, we're going to be doing this exact same thing again on Gabe's channel. We've only got 7 more days of this? No. 9? 9 more days. Why did I think 7? I'm telling you, brain juice. Anyway, 7 more days of JourneyJune, and then we're back to doing our normal illustrations and commissions on stream. So, Saturday, join us on Gabe's stream in the upper right corner under Galvosaur, 4 p.m. CST, and we'll both be there. And then Sunday, back here, 4 p.m. CST. Same thing. So, if anybody has any questions on JourneyJune, feel free to message the Instagram account, and we'll be sure to get back to you with any help. Otherwise, just wait till Saturday and we'll talk it out. But it's been great talking to you guys. I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. And we'll be updating our Instagrams tonight. Also, don't forget about this link that I've got with my new book. I've only got a couple before I have to make more, which usually takes time then. So if you want it now, make sure you do. I'll put a link here in the chat, and then do what you will, you guys. Anybody have any last things they want to say? Gabe, you have any last thoughts? Nothing?
Get to work.
Oh yeah, if you're behind, start kicking it. Remember, you at least need one image for each prompt, and you can't combine days. So anyway, there's the link. I'll be shipping things out Saturday, so make sure you order it now if you want it shipped soon. And we'll see you Saturday, all right? Bye!